Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony DeQuano.
So, Tony, I think it's time. There has been a movie that we have mentioned several times on this podcast.
Yes, several times is correct.
Several times on this podcast.
Yeah, I would say many is probably...
We kept on promising that someday we are going to talk about this movie. We're going to give it a proper discussion. And you know what? Today is that day.
Today is that day.
Let's talk about Speed.
Let's talk about Speed. Sans Jimmy John's.
Yes, we've mentioned
our old favorite
to
eat with us.
Best combination to combat a hangover is Speed and Jimmy John's. The movie Speed, not cocaine. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe cocaine is. I don't know. I'm not. Telling you to do that. But I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never tried it. But Speed the movie and Jimmy John's is the perfect combination to combat a hangover.
At least that's from our own experience. Maybe,
yes, from our own experience.
You might have different results. I don't know.
You might.
But
yes.
For us, it was perfect.
Yes, but once again, I am not advocating doing drugs.
You might be advocating getting drunk.
Well, I mean, if you happen to be drunk and you're trying to find a way to stop this hangover.
Well, not drunk, hungover. That means you were drunk yesterday.
Yes, exactly. So if you're trying to combat a hangover, give it a shot. Watch Speed, eat some Jimmy John's, see how it does for you. But for us, it's the perfect hangover cure.
It was always great, getting out of bed late in the morning. All right.
Well, the time that we discovered the greatness of it was when we were, because back when we were rooming together in Virginia.
Yes,
we were drinking a bottle of Jack and we realized that we had been drinking it for 7 hours straight and didn't realize it. So then after we got our apartment in Lawrence.
That's right.
Then we decided that, we're going to top that night. We're going to go 12 hours. So we got a handle of Jack. And we were drinking it for 12 hours straight. And the next day, neither of us felt good at all.
Imagine that.
And we were sitting around. We ordered some Jimmy John's, watched Speed, and then realized how great of a combination it is and how much better we felt.
We felt a lot better.
I mean, yeah, that was the night that you slept on the bathroom floor.
Yes. This was.
But
enough about that. Let's get back to Speed the movie.
Let's get back to Speed the movie.
Euphemism for cocaine.
Yeah.
But Speed the movie from 1994.
Came out June 10th, 1994, to be exact.
You know why I couldn't have told you the date. I knew it was mid-June. And I'll get to the story in a minute for the first time I saw it. But yes, June 10th, 1994. So major action R-rated blockbuster of that year, right? I was actually thinking, I don't know if we've done we've done a lot of 90s movies. I don't know if we've done a lot of 1994 movies. We have done one other that I know of.
Yes, we have done at least
that includes an actor from this movie.
Yes. Not too long ago, we did Dumb and Dumber, and that starred Jeff Daniels, who is also in this, and he plays Harry in both movies.
I love
they
that.
both came out the same year. He plays the character has the same name, which has me convinced that it's the same character. That maybe he's just pretending to be dumb. Dumb and Dumber.
Unfortunately, here's the thing. In one movie, he has explosive diarrhea.
In the other movie, he's an expert on explosives.
Yes.
So, I mean, maybe that's how he became an expert. Was he had the explosive diarrhea.
Here's to you, Jeff Daniels.
Yes. Here's to you, Jeff Daniels. Fantastic actor. We have talked about you in a few of our movies now.
I'm sure there's another Jeff Daniels movie that might come along another day.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
But on the other hand, the star of this movie is Keanu Reeves, who is another favorite of ours.
Yes.
And I was thinking about this, right? So, last week, right, we did The Fugitive.
Mm-hmm.
And we were thinking about, oh yeah, like Harrison Ford is one of our most common, probably the most common actor that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
And right before that, we did Terminator 2 with Arnold.
Another one of our
who
most
is
common.
probably like another one, but Keanu is also
yes, he is.
We have done
Keanu is another one that we've done a lot.
Because we've had we've done the first two John Wick movies. We've done Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
We've done Point Break.
Yep.
And now we're doing Speed.
And eventually we'll do The Matrix. So yeah, Keanu Reeves is definitely up there too.
And yeah. So we might even do Bram Stoker's Dracula one day.
We might.
You know, it's crazy. You know, we have not done a Gary Oldman movie yet. No, we have done Gary Oldman. Fifth Element.
We have, yes. Yes, we have.
But we've not done a lot of Gary Oldman.
We haven't done a Gary Oldman movie where it looks like he has boobs on top of his head. Which, if we do Bram Stoker's Dracula, we're going to be talking about that.
Gary Oldman, he's a man of many looks.
Yes.
As you know, Fifth Element and Dracula demonstrate.
Yes.
What Speed does also have, though, is since there's thing about the actors, is that this would be the first Sandra Bullock movie we've done, and also the first Dennis Hopper movie.
Yes, but not the first Alan Ruck movie.
Yes, he was in Twister.
Yes, he was.
Also, not the first Joe Morton movie. He was also in that movie just a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Now, Twister has the same director as
as this one,
and Speed.
Jan de Bont.
And there's another actor in here that was also in Twister, Richard Lineback, who is the man that decides he wants to go windsurfing on a tornado with a storm cellar door.
He's the one that wants to play Swayze. Yeah.
He's had enough of the little 5-year-old Helen Hunt. And so he sways himself away from Oklahoma.
Which, I mean, if he just didn't go up and try to hold the door shut, he would have been fine.
He could have been huddled with his family.
Because after the door got blown away with him holding on to it. The dog
was closer to the tornado than the rest of the family.
And the dog was just barking at it. The dog was closer to the tornado and barking at it. The dog scared the tornado away.
Hey, little lap dogs, they can be pretty vicious.
Yes, they can.
So first Sandra Bullock and first Dennis Hopper movie, and it's funny thinking back at this.
Surprised that we haven't done either a Dennis Hopper or Sandra Bullock movie yet.
Sandra Bullock, this is one of her first, kind of breakthrough movies, along with Demolition Man,
which we've got to do.
And for a while, she was kind of in the action oriented type movies because she also had The Net. At the same time. And
which, funny thing about The Net, I'm sure if we end up talking about The Net someday, then, we'll go into this further. But The Net, interesting little tidbit, is the first time it is the movie that inspired pizza places to do online ordering. because at the time,
interesting,
no pizza places actually did online ordering, and they had a fake pizza place in there that did online ordering, and the pizza places in real life saw that and decided, hey, maybe we should start doing some online stuff.
I think I have read that somewhere. It's been a long time since I've seen the net. Maybe we should do the net someday.
I'd be up for it.
Because like this is back when
it was a good movie. I'd be up for it.
But that's back when like the internet was like truly like, to really be like well versed in it. That was like truly a special skill set.
Yes.
To be the type of programmer that she was in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was mid-90s internet.
Which, by the way, this is a perfect little segue. Did you see that AOL is doing away with dial-up?
Yes, after 34 years.
Because apparently there's still dial-up.
I know. That surprised me. that there's still dial-up. But I guess it makes sense because there's some rural areas that can't get, high-speed internet.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking of. Can you imagine for us trying to do this on dial-up?
That would not work very well.
So anyway, back to Sandra Bullock. But and then she just kind of really evolved more towards the chick flick up until like Gravity, right?
Yeah.
And Dennis Hopper is Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper, yeah. I mean, Dennis Hopper chews the scenery in every movie he's in, and it's great.
Oh, yes.
I love it.
And what I like about this, he's one of those, he's actually in this, he's in this movie a lot.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's second build.
Yes. Which makes sense, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that it's just a lot. It's funny, he doesn't have henchmen, right? It's just him and his bombs.
Yeah, it's just him and his bombs.
And so occasionally he's in his little apartment. You just see him by himself, talking to himself, right?
Yep.
And he talks to other people.
Using his bathroom stall that's in the middle of the apartment.
I love it. I've always loved that bathroom stall. We'll get to the bathroom stall.
It's not even like a proper bathroom. It's just a stall.
So another actress that's in this movie that's a favorite of ours is Beth Grant.
Yes. She's not in a lot of the movie. She's
not.
But
the only other movie we've had with her so far is No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
an even smaller role in that.
Donnie Darko. Yeah, she has a smaller role in that than she has in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but yes, we love ourselves some Beth Grant. This would be one of her earlier roles, unless you include, there's also Child's Play 2. It would be Child's Play 2. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's one of the ones that Chucky kills.
I don't know.
But I also had no idea she was in Rain Man. She's the mother at the farmhouse that they stay in.
So, a little confession here: I have never seen Rain Man.
You've never seen Rain Man?
I have never seen Rain Man. I've been told a million times that I need to watch Rain Man, and it's on my list of movies that I need to watch.
Well,
I have not watched Rain Man.
Maybe we'll rectify that one day with an episode.
Maybe
on Rain Man.
Maybe.
So. But back to Speed. So I want to get back to you're saying June 10th. So this is my first experience with Speed. I have seen this movie a lot.
Me too.
And actually, which we kind of talked about already, I guess. And I haven't seen it in probably 10 years, which is kind of crazy. And, I'm just thinking about it. It's like I still know almost every single scene in this movie and many of the lines. But yeah, the first time I saw it was actually in the theaters. It would have been probably right after opening day then, because it was on Father's Day. My dad wanted to see Speed for Father's Day. So we all went as a family to watch Speed.
Nice. Nice. The first time I saw it, I did not see it in the theater. I saw it after it started playing on TV.
Okay.
My family was watching it one night because it was on TV, and I was watching it with them. So I saw the edited for TV version. So.
Yeah, I've seen this a bunch on TV. I mean, this movie used to be on TV all the time.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And by the way, Beth Grant is killed by Chucky in Child's Play 2.
Okay. Good to know.
I guess she plays a teacher, and she gets beaten to death. Well, she gets beaten to death with a yardstick. So, first he stabs her in the stomach with a bicycle pump.
I'm sure that's what kills her. Because I don't know how.
And then he just continues
to be a really strong yardstick to be able to beat somebody to death with a yardstick.
And like, granted, and like, he's still a doll, right? Like, he's not going to be able to.
No, he has doll strength.
Yes. So, anyway, yes, that's her Child's Play 2 story.
So, also, since you mentioned Child's Play, another little interesting nugget of knowledge that has nothing to do with speed, but it does have to do with Child's Play. So, you remember in the 90s, Tales from the Crypt?
Yes, I do.
So, the Crypt Keeper's eyes were the same eyes as Chucky's eyes. They just reused the eyes from Chucky
I don't think I
and
knew
put
that.
them in the Crypt Keeper puppet. So, yeah, there's something that you can go and maybe win some concert tickets on the radio sometime with.
If that ever pops up.
Yeah.
Never pops up.
You're welcome.
But so anyway, back to Speed. I love this movie. It is one of the best action movies of the 90s.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
It continues to hold up.
Yes, it does.
This, and it's funny, like it's slightly ridiculous premise that you've got to try to keep a bus over 50 miles an hour.
That's the thing. The
Los
premise,
Angeles traffic.
The premise of this movie is they have to keep a bus above 50 or else it'll explode. That's the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, it's a very simple premise. It's a very simple thought by the bomb maker.
And you wouldn't think that a movie with that premise would be as big as this movie is.
Yes.
But it works. And, it's just everything with this movie just went together to make it great.
Yeah.
Jan de Bont did such a good job directing it. You have great actors, you got great writing, you got the music in this.
The music, yeah. Yes. Well, we'll get to that very shortly. The music really stood out to me. It's always stood out to me.
I've got something to say about the music too, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, it just everything. Just the stars were aligned for this movie. Yes.
It's perfect. You talk about it being like Los Angeles, but like Los Angeles, it's known for its car chases, right? Like this is the same year, like June 10th, 1994. Not 1 week after this, the infamous white Ford Bronco.
Yes.
Took a more leisurely.
Yes, a more leisurely chase. But a low-speed chase. But still, yeah. A week after this.
Los Angeles, they're used to the police chases, seeing them on TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the most famous one happened ever right after this movie was released.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just works. Like, I think even having Keanu in this is like correct, right?
Yeah.
He was enough of a name at this point.
Yeah,
but it's not like he was
just a few years after
someone who would think
Break.
of as driving another action vehicle. I mean, granted, he was in Point Break, but this is a different type of movie, I think, than what Point Break is.
Yeah. But
yeah, Michael Kamen does the score in this. right? He's not someone that's not a name that you don't associate much with movie scores. He actually did a lot of arranging for Pink Floyd.
He did Die Hard.
He did do Die Hard. He did Lethal Weapon. He did Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He did the first X-Men movie. He did Highlander.
But then we've also got, so Michael Kamen, but then also listed as composer is Mark Mancina.
Interesting.
At least according to IMDb.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah. So what did?
I mean, he's
I'm sorry.
uncredited.
I'm reading the wrong thing here on Wikipedia. He was initially considered. Sorry, initially considered.
Okay, so Mike Mancina is the one that actually did the music for. Okay, I was gonna say you said Mark Kamen.
I mean, he did Twister and Bad Boys.
I don't see him anywhere.
And Training Day. Again, not someone you really associate a whole lot, but he's actually a veteran. I guess he's a student of Hans Zimmer, which will make sense.
That does make sense.
So. But yeah, no, and then like the editing, it was nominated for Best Editing at the Academy Awards at the Oscars. It won both sound categories, which makes sense. There's a lot of booming and a lot of other sound editing that has to go in to make it all work out. And then like we mentioned a bunch of cool, like character actors are in this movie.
Yeah,
that just really fill it out.
They really do.
Like, you know, even like some of the cops, and then like we haven't even mentioned him yet. You know, there's people just in it for like, you know, a scene or two here. Where do they go?
I mean, there's Glenn Plummer, the Jaguar owner.
Glenn Plummer, yes. I mean, like
he's great. I love his character.
Yeah, you get on that bus.
He's like, sir, I need to borrow your phone. Just take it, man. Just take it.
But the other guy that's in this in a very early role, Patrick Fischler.
Yes.
Who has done a whole host of things. You know, a lot of Mad Men fans will know him. Lost fans will know him. Curb Your Enthusiasm fans know him.
Yep.
And he's just got such a distinctive face.
Yes, he does. Yes,
right? I remember the last time I watched this, probably after he was on Lost, right? It's like, oh, that guy's... I know that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's never like a lead role.
No.
But he's always a side character, and you recognize him when you see him.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just one of those memorable side characters.
Absolutely. So yeah, so the supporting cast fills things out very nicely, and then they execute the premise well, right? Like, it's okay. So it's L.A. traffic, all right. So they're gonna have to deal with L.A. traffic,
yes,
and so they deal with some L.A. traffic.
Come up with a genius way to deal with L.A. traffic,
and then they put them in other situations where, like, once they can kind of get something that's clear to do that. But even at that, eventually, guess what's going to happen? Things run out of gas, right? You know, it sets the time correctly.
Yeah.
It's just kind of one obstacle after another, right?
Yeah.
And again, and the movie clocks in just under 2 hours.
Yeah, just under 2 hours.
Again, they keep it tight.
It's a very watchable length. It's a very manageable length of a movie.
They could have a drawn out third act if they wanted to on this, right? But no, they don't. They keep it tight. They keep it lean.
Yep, they do.
And we'll get to some of the other actors too that are also on the bus. It's just everything fills out very nicely, and it's funny, like it's a shot of the 90s, but the only thing that kind of makes it kind of feel like it's an older movie is that the bus looks old.
Yeah.
Like that bus, looking back at that bus, looked like it was old in 1994.
Yes, it did.
That bus looked 30 years old then.
Yeah.
About the only other thing is that we can get to it actually. Thinking about kind of back Los Angeles. Yeah, you follow like in the helicopter chases, right? They do that in this movie, and then using cameras instead of camera phones to record big events, right? So,
because they didn't have camera phones then.
but yeah, no, they didn't. There is a car phone in this movie.
There is.
And then, I guess before we get into it, it's hard to.
Well, it's not so much a car phone as it is a cell phone, an early cell phone.
Yes, early cell phone, which actually is important to have for the movie.
Yes, it is.
Which we can get into. And I guess before we really jump into it, I think the next thing to really talk about is Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Yes, Speed 2, Cruise Control. A movie that we may or may not do on this podcast sometime. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie.
2 weeks ago we did, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Often regarded as one of the greatest sequels of all time. Along with like Aliens and Godfather Part 2.
And
Spider-Man 2 up there, I guess.
Yeah.
And obviously, sequels are generally not always as good. I mean, we did Superman 2 recently. A lot of people put that over Superman the movie, right?
Yep.
But very often they're not quite as good, right? Speed 2 takes it to a different level, or sinks to a different level.
Yeah, Speed 2 it's just bad.
Which is a shame because it has Willem Dafoe as the villain.
It does. And you would think with Willem Dafoe it would be a good movie because Willem Dafoe is awesome and he's a great actor and he usually elevates whatever he's in, and if he's elevating Speed 2, then that means it's really bad.
Of course, there's an issue where calling a movie you get speed in the title of a movie, but you put it on a cruise ship.
Yeah, that doesn't go any faster than like 12 knots. Something like that, which is not very fast.
No.
Yeah.
And I get it that you want to make something with some of the same characters.
And there's really only one recurring character.
You're getting tied to the title of the movie.
I guess there's technically two recurring characters in that one.
Glenn Plummer is in this movie. I guess this
three.
Movie.
Yeah, so three. So yeah, Glenn Plummer is in both movies. He's got a similar role in the second one as he does in the first one. But then you also have Sandra Bullock, of course, and Joe Morton. He's at the beginning.
Joe Morton. Yes.
But other than that, there are no repeats from the cast.
Yes. Keanu Reeves does not come back.
Nope.
Dennis Hopper obviously didn't come back.
Nope.
But you don't have Keanu Reeves, and they get into it, right? Because as you find out later, relationships that start in stressful situations,
they don't last.
And they don't. Hey, listen, the end of the movie, they had no choice but to be kind of cuddled with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going at a high speed, so that causes friction.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll get to that, and including the parts where there's apparently public relations going on, not just PDAs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's getting ahead. We should get into the movie so we can get to that part.
Now, before we do get into the movie, I just wanted to bring up the thing about the score.
Yes, go ahead.
Mark Messina's score. So I mentioned back when we were talking about The Rock. Yeah, there were two movies that back when in my Taekwondo days, there were two movie soundtracks that they had queued up for, belt tests or belt ceremonies.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that for The Rock. Yeah.
Right. And The Rock was one of them. Speed was the other. So,
hey, I can see it.
Anytime that there was a belt test or a belt ceremony, depending on what was going on in it, they would usually either play some of the music from The Rock or music from Speed. And so I have very interesting memories of the score from this movie. I mean, not bad memories at all, but just interesting memories.
No, I get what you mean.
But it's a great score.
It is a great score. It's memorable and it's used really well.
Yeah. So anyway, should we get into it?
I think we should get into it.
All right, let's get into it. So as always, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you've not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, then pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come back and listen. If you have seen the movie or you just don't mind being spoiled, then keep on listening. But you have been warned, we will be spoiling this entire movie. All of the greatness that happens in it, we will be spoiling.
And we kind of start off with the score.
We do. You start off with the score.
And an elevator shaft.
An elevator shaft. And I love how they do the credits here.
Yes. I love the credits for multiple reasons. First, I love the 90s Microsoft Word font.
Yes. Absolutely. Is it so is it 90s Microsoft Word or Microsoft Works?
It might, yeah.
This is 94. This is 94, so I'm thinking it's probably Microsoft Works.
It probably is, but they carry that over to all the other, like PowerPoint, and Word. But I like, the color's nice, and again they speed in at first, right?
Yeah, but it's basically like the camera is mounted on the top of an elevator. And it's just filming the elevator shaft as the elevator is going down.
As it descends down, and then it just scrolls after it gives
going down, or is it going up?
Rebuilt. It's going down.
Okay, yeah.
And it gives you three bills first, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Keanu, you got Dennis Hopper, you got Sandra Bullock, and your speed comes in, right? And then it starts descending, right? And I like the elevator doesn't start going faster, right? No, it just goes down at the speed it's supposed to go down. It's this 2 or 3 minute credit sequence. And you have the main part of the score going on. Right? It's getting you jazzed up.
Yeah.
And if you heard the score, you know what we're talking about. It's easy enough to go, find.
Yeah.
And it finally settles at the, I guess like the probably the basement level, the bottom level, the basement or sub basement, whatever it is of the building. And you can tell, like, you're seeing the numbers go down that are, on the, like, it's starting somewhere like in the 20s. I mean, like,
it's got to be
later, like the building has over 30 stories.
It's got to be high enough to be able to have all the credits go through as it's going down.
Yes.
So it's pretty high up in the building. Yeah, it's a tall building.
And we don't know it yet, but as we discover, it's this takes place in Los Angeles. As we talked about already, it takes place in Los Angeles.
Yes.
The movie has not introduced that to us yet.
No.
But we'll discover that very shortly.
But I mean, it's a movie. It's a movie made in Hollywood, which means there's like a 60% chance it takes place in LA.
Yes.
It's either LA or New York. Sometimes
LA
Chicago, but
yes. Occasionally, you get, some, your crazy landscapes. So they go and film exotically. but right.
Occasionally, you get stuff like Oklahoma, like Twister and Twisters.
Yes, like Twister. The only other thing you ever get is like places that take place at the beach.
Yeah.
And so it's someplace in the beach, right? Which could be California, could be Florida, could be elsewhere, could be Hawaii. You get Hawaiian movies sometimes, right?
But that really, I mean, any location that's not either LA or New York, it really has to do with the subject matter of the movie. You know, is it in a tropical location? Does it take place there? Then yeah, it's going to be Hawaii.
Does it deal with the government? Oh, okay. This is Washington D.C.
Is there weather involved? It's the Midwest.
Unless it's like, blizzard, and then it might be Antarctica or Canada.
Unless it's
or Alaska.
Oh wait, there's a crazy blizzard in Texas because of these end of the world, blizzards that show up.
Well, then you have those other disaster type movies like that will jump between different cities or places also. Yeah. But anyhow, right now we're in the basement of Los Angeles.
Yes.
In the skyscraper. Right. And you got this kind of like workman security guard. He's played by James Dumont.
Mm-hmm.
And he hears some noise. He's checking around. He opens his door and then he hears some noise. And sadly, he decides to investigate.
Yes. I mean, he's doing his job. Props to him for being a good security guard and doing his job. But this is really a time when he could have been slacking on his job. Maybe don't investigate this part and you leave this the other day.
He needs to poop on company time.
Maybe. But no, he is a good worker. He does his job. He goes and investigates this, and he sees
Dennis Hopper.
First, he sees a bag of tools.
That's right. Yes.
And he walks over and turns the corner, and there's Dennis Hopper with a really poorly designed four-fingered hand. Like his character is supposed to have 9 fingers.
Yes.
So he's supposed to be missing his thumb on his left hand.
Right, because he always holds the phone with his other hand. He's got to reach around to hold it.
He's supposed to be missing his thumb on his left hand, but like you could tell they tried real hard. Like the makeup department did a great job trying real hard to make it look like he had 9 fingers. But you could tell that his thumb was just tucked into his palm.
Yes.
The whole movie, you could tell his thumb was just tucked into the palm. It was just a little bit too fat right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it had this permanent swelling somehow.
Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, the only other way that they could have done it there, because, I mean, digital effects weren't to the point where they are today, but I guess a year before this, we had Jurassic Park, which was amazing. So I guess they probably could have done something if they wanted to spend a little bit more money on the movie. But to digitally remove his thumb. But, really the only other option would be cutting off his thumb. And you're not going to do that to an actor. Dennis Hopper's not that method.
Hey, so some of the method actors get really intense, but not that intense.
Yeah. Dennis Hopper was never that method. But
anyway. So, yeah, this guard, he's curious about what he's doing.
And Dennis
Hopper gives him,
he's like, hey, I'm supposed to work here. You gotta, I got called in to work on this stuff. And the guard's like, well, no one told me. No one told me. Do you have a work order? And he's like, yeah, I got a work order. And he reaches into his tool bag and pulls out a piece of paper. He's like, here it is right here. And then he shoots the guy.
No, he doesn't shoot him. Takes out like a screwdriver.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Ear.
He pulls out a screwdriver and slams into the side of his head and stabs him in the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he falls to the ground.
Falls to the ground dead. Poor security guard.
And Dennis Hopper tells him it's nothing personal.
Yeah. Say it's nothing personal.
It wasn't personal. Yes. He just had to, but he was in the way. Going back last year, we did Collateral. Like, none of it was personal to Vincent until the end. Kind of got personal at the end, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the people he kills was never personal.
No.
He was getting paid a handsome sum.
Yes, he was.
So we then got to what's probably like the towards the top floor of this office building, and people kind of they're completing some type of probably some type of deal, sale, right? Some type of business transaction. It's like in this boardroom. And so then they all, they're happy. They congratulate each other, and they all get into this express elevator to go, down to the bottom floor.
Yeah, to leave, to go home.
There's probably about a dozen or so people in the elevator.
And they get in the elevator, and they all cram in there. And then one guy farts, and everybody's like, "Oh, Johnny, why are you farting?" No, somebody doesn't fart.
But it focuses on two in particular: young executive and friend of executive. Young executive is played by Robert Mailhouse.
Yep.
And friend of executive is played by Patrick Fischler.
Yep.
And Patrick Fischler, he pushes the ground button, right? It's already lit. Someone's already hit it.
Somebody's already hit it. He pushes it again. Because, even if the button's lit, when you're in an elevator, you have to hit the button. It's a rule. You have to hit the button when you're in an elevator. It's an unwritten rule.
The IMDb doesn't actually give him a name, but the young executive actually does call him a name. And it's like, thanks for pushing that. The light's on, but you never know. It really might be broken.
Yeah.
He just looks like, shut up. So, it's going down, right? And, it's one of those elevators where you have the digital readout of what floor you're passing as you're going down, right?
Yeah.
And, they're looking at it. And then there's one of the ladies in there, and she's talking, seductively into another guy's ear. Right. And this is like this is also like the summer. Like, again, like Los Angeles gets super hot, but it's a hot enough day.
Yeah.
Right. And then you see the hands, cuts to Dennis Hopper's hands.
His 9-fingered hands.
Presses some buttons. Right. And it blows the wires on the elevator.
And the elevator
just starts dropping.
And then the emergency brakes kick in. And it clamps on to the bars going down there, and it stops. And so everybody's just trapped in this elevator.
And I love the guy looks like, dude, what button did you push? I think his name is Bob. I want to say it's Bob.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a fairly generic name, right?
Yeah.
And then you hear the sirens, right? And what I love is that there is you got the sirens, right? So you're hearing all these sirens. Well, first, you see a fire truck going down towards this office building. And it cuts to the top of this road that's going to be going down this, kind of like this, hill. And there's a Crown Vic that's flying through the air.
Yes, it jumps this hill. Like it Dukes of Hazzards this hill. It gets airborne. Like if it had wings, it would keep going in the air. This thing flies over this hill.
So is Keanu driving or is Jeff Daniels driving it? I can't remember.
I think Jeff Daniels is driving it.
That's what I thought. Right?
Or is he? No. Keanu's driving because Jeff Daniels is the first one out of the car. He gets out of the passenger side.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Keanu's driving it.
Right. So they come to a stop there, right? By the building, and all these other cop cars are there. The fire truck is there. The ambulances are there. Right. Get all your first responders. Right.
Mm-hmm.
They get in.
Well,
and they start getting this.
Well, Keanu and Jeff Daniels first. They get out of the car and they go to the trunk and they get their SWAT gear on. Because we find out right away that they are members of the SWAT team with LAPD.
Members of the SWAT team. Right. And I think they they just kind of briefly talk about kind of what they know, right? They don't understand all of everything yet, right? And so they get to the lobby, right? And all the rest of the SWAT team are standing there, and then their Captain McMahon, right, played by Joe Morton.
Well, which is interesting because he's
giving everyone a briefing.
He's credited as Captain McMahon, but throughout the movie they call him Lieutenant.
They do. That's right.
So, yeah, that's just interesting because those are two different ranks.
They were really,
yeah. I mean, they also call him Chief in the movie.
They do. Hey, he's like Grissom. He just goes around to different people and just grabs their rights, just puts them on.
Maybe throughout the movie, maybe after the whole bus
ascending different ranks.
Maybe after the whole bus incident, he got promoted before the credits rolled.
That's actually a good point. He might have been promoted after this elevator.
Well, except they call him Lieutenant later in the movie too.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway.
When Keanu's introducing Sandra Bullock to him, he says Lieutenant McMahon.
So, they tell them that they got this many hostages, and they're saying that he's demanded $3 million, and they've had you give them 1 hour from his phone call,
or else he's going
the money,
blow the emergency brakes.
Yes,
and let these people drop to their deaths.
Okay. And people are asking, it's they're going through different scenarios, and, and someone's like, anything preventing it from falling, and Keanu's like, the basement. McMahon's like, the city would like to avoid that.
He would like to avoid that.
He says the city would like to avoid that. Officer Travin, right? We find out his name is Jack Travin.
Jack Travin,
right? And his partner there is Harry.
We don't ever. Do we ever learn his last name?
No, sadly we don't.
I mean, I would imagine that it's Dunn because that's Harry's last name in Dumb and Dumber.
Yes, it's Dunn. There you go. It's Harry Dunn.
So, because they are the same character.
So all this is really this really is Jack's fault, at least in terms of Harry's family.
Yeah,
because Jack volunteers Harry to be the one to investigate the bomb.
Jack volunteers Harry to be the one to investigate the bomb because Harry, not only is he SWAT, but he's also bomb squad, so he knows bombs. So Jack volunteers Harry to check out the bomb, and McMahon volunteers Jack to go with him. So, and so we find out. So it's been an hour, but they only have 22 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's taken them about 40 minutes to get everybody together there, to and so forth. Right?
Yeah.
So they get to the level where where the emergency brake stopped, right? And they're able to get into the access panel.
There's an access
to climb
panel
to the shaft.
So they get that access panel off the wall, and they're looking down there. They climb down the shaft, and Harry is examining the bombs that are attached to each of the emergency brakes. And he sees them, and he knows what he's looking at because he knows bombs. Because he's bomb squad. And they figure they're not going to have time to disarm these bombs. And the whole time, while they're doing this, Jack and Harry have a game they like to play. They like to give each other pop quizzes.
So before they play the game, they talk with the passengers. The passengers can hear them, right? Because they can hear the drill taking the screws out of the access panel, right? And they assure them that everything's gonna be okay.
LAPD, we're here to get you out of here.
And people in there like, why did they send cops?
Yeah. Shouldn't they just be maintenance guys?
Why didn't they send repair dudes?
And so so everybody in the elevator is suspicious.
One lady's like, can't they just pry the doors open? Right? They're unaware that a bomb is actually what caused them to fall.
Yeah. They think they're just in a broken elevator.
Right? And so then they start talking so after they talk and try to calm the passengers, they play the little game.
Yeah. So Harry is like, pop quiz. The guy has a hostage and he's getting away. What do you do? And Jack is like, shoot the hostage. Give it a nice clean shot. The gunman drops the hostage. You can take the gunman out.
Yep. And Harry's like still like, shoot the hostage. It's like
a non-lethal wound.
It's like, you're nuts.
I love the way that Jack says it. It's like he's chewing gum while he's saying, he's like, shoot the hostage. It's kind of
he's so casual. It's like, yeah. He didn't have to think that long about it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. So meanwhile, while they're talking, like, obviously they're in an elevator shaft, so their voices are echoing off everything in there.
Yeah.
And Dennis Hopper can hear them.
He's in another elevator. He's in a freight elevator.
He's in an elevator. We all know he's in a freight elevator yet. Well, they don't know he's in a freight elevator yet, right?
No. We know we'll
kind of get to that point.
An elevator, because he's clearly in an elevator.
Yes, he's clearly in an elevator. So, his name is, we don't know it yet with the movie, but we'll just go ahead and say it. Howard Payne is his character's name. So, but they still have instructions to wait. So they're just kind of standing there on the roof.
Yeah, on the top of the
elevator. And then...
And they're like, we don't have time for this. And Jack gets an idea.
Harry's like, we're not going to shoot them, are we? So they
go up to the roof.
They get up to the top of the roof, right? And I love how like they get detailed in this. Like they don't know where the guy might be. So even when they get to the floor, right, they're making sure they're checking their sixes, they're checking all the blind spots, right? They're doing everything by protocol. Exactly. They get up on the roof, they do the same thing.
Great. It's great.
And he sees this like yellow crane.
There's this little crane on top of the roof. That I don't know why this crane is there.
I have no idea why this crane is there. This building's completed.
Does every tall building in LA or otherwise have a little crane on top?
I didn't see one of these in Die Hard.
I didn't either. But maybe there was one on that side of the roof that they didn't show us. Or maybe they're only in LA and not New York. Like I said, it is LA. Never mind. Maybe they're just on some buildings in LA.
So Jack looks at it, it's like, no, we just take them out of the equation. Right?
Mm-hmm. And then as soon as they see the crane, then Harry knows exactly what Jack is talking about doing. So Jack goes up, he gets the hook off the crane, he starts running the cable out, hands it down to Harry, who then runs across an I-beam, several hundred feet in the air. And runs it through a vent on the side of the up on the side there, of the building that goes right down into the elevator shaft.
They both get back into the building, into the shaft, and Harry starts lowering Jack down, and Jack's got the hook.
Yep, and there just happens to be an eye bolt on the top of the elevator.
That perfectly fits this hook.
That perfectly fits the hook.
It's not too small. It's not fits too
in there
large.
Perfectly. With a steel cable.
As they're talking about it, Jack's like, tell me again, Harry, why I'm doing this. It's like, oh, yeah, after another 30 years, you can get a nice thank you and a cheap gold watch.
Mm-hmm. That's important.
Important line right there.
Yes.
And I think Jack's just like, it's like, cool.
That is just cool. Right? Only a way that Keanu can deliver.
So they do it, and they're looking at the time. It's like, okay, now we got about 4 minutes, right? But as they're like, connecting everything, right?
And this whole time, Dennis Hopper is listening to him.
Yes.
He's hearing everything they're saying.
And he gets to a point where, you know what? He's had enough of it. He doesn't know what they're doing. So he delivers one of my favorite lines in this movie. Don't fuck with daddy.
Yes, don't fuck with daddy. Right. And he detonates the bombs. He doesn't know that they just hooked them onto the elevator onto the crane.
Right. So it doesn't hit the basement, right?
No, he detonates the bomb, so all the emergency brakes blow, and then the elevator drops, but it's caught by the steel cable that's coming from the crane. However, the elevator's too heavy for the crane, so it breaks off.
And it's holding it, but the crane is getting pulled out of the rivets of it and the bolts.
Yes,
they're getting pulled out from it. Where it's standing, right?
So it stops momentarily.
People in the elevator, they're screaming.
Stops momentarily, right? And then it breaks from its mounts. The crane breaks from its mounts, flies down, breaks through that vent, and then gets caught in the cross beams of the elevator shaft. And so it's just sitting there, just dangling the elevator. So they don't have much time before this crane gives out.
So Jack and Harry, they're rushing to get out of the shaft, back on the floor, right?
They're trying to figure out what floor that they're on.
And you hear Harry just saying that, he's early, right? Yeah. Son of a bitch is early, right? And they get to the floor right below where it stopped. And they get the access panel open again, right? Because, again, it's an express elevator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't stop at every floor, right? It stops like at the lobby and at the top.
Yeah.
And it has stopped just kind of above this one floor, right?
Yeah.
And there's enough room to kind of get someone to squeeze them down, right? And they start.
They open it up. They see everybody's feet.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Come down here, come down here." And one person kind of lays down, and they're trying to reach out to get it, but there's like maybe 8 to 10 inches that's cleared right there. So not necessarily enough for somebody to squeeze through.
Heads really don't skinny people squeeze that well.
A really skinny person maybe could squeeze through there.
But the head would be the problem, though. Like, heads aren't that malleable.
Exactly. So, luckily for them, a few seconds later, that crane starts to give way a little bit, and it drops down another foot and a half or so that people can start squeezing through. So they're trying to get people out, and as they're trying to get people out, the elevator keeps on dropping a few more inches here and there.
It keeps dropping. And a couple other members of the bomb squad have come up there. They're helping them, right?
Yeah, they're helping them get people out.
There's one other guy there that he's obviously some type of captain or whatever up there in LAPD. Where is he on here? What's his name? I had it a second ago. Bagwell, played by Jordan Lund, right?
Yeah.
As all this is happening, he's like, usually they fall down now.
Yeah, usually they fall down by now.
Right? Right, because he's on the ground level with Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're getting people out. One guy's like, what the hell is all this? Right? Right. And now it's getting to the point where it is dropped below.
It's dropped
right?
below.
So they have
to reach down and pick
pull
people up and pull them out. And so, the elevator is creating sort of a guillotine effect with the floor or with the access panel that they're at. So they got to hurry up and get these people out of there. And so it gets down to there's one lady left.
And so you get down to the last two. And one of them is the guy that's the executive, young executive, that's like, what button did he push?
Yeah. One of
and this other lady, she's probably like 50 or so.
Which, I mean, understandably
so. She's terrified. She is frozen in the corner.
Yeah, understandably so. I mean, she's in an elevator that's about to drop.
And he's right now, he's doing the right thing. He's like, no, like, I'll go after you. Like,
he's like, I'm going to help you up. I'm going to help you up, and then I'll go. And she's but then it keeps terrified. She's
keeps
just
shifting
frozen
down a little bit more. So they fought. So finally, they just lift him out.
And so he's like, okay, well, I'll go. And they pull him out. And then, Jack, he doesn't just reach into the elevator. He puts half his body into the elevator. His legs are still on the floor, but he's leaning in there. So if this elevator drops, it's cutting him in half. right? He's trying to get as close to her as he can. He's like, just take 2 steps and I'll grab your hand and pull you out. And finally, she reluctantly, reaches out, takes a couple steps, and he grabs her hand, pulls her out. And just as they're pulling her out, the elevator drops and they just barely get her feet out of the way. And it takes one of her shoes.
It takes one of her shoes, right? And as you hear, she's running off, you hear, my shoe!
Yeah.
and then you hear, boom, right? And you got a couple of the guys are down there at the, bottom level there where, like Mac, and we're just hits, right? And obviously, they're they're covering their ears because it's a massive noise as it slams into the ground.
An elevator just dropped 20 some odd stories and slammed into the ground.
And so the rest of the squad, they've taken everyone down, the ground level, right? They get checked out and everything and make sure they're okay. But, Harry and Jack, they stay, right? They're catching their breath. They're just sitting on the floor against the wall. And Jack's were we late? He was like, no. He was early.
Yeah, he was early. He was 3 minutes early.
It's a common problem with middle-aged men.
Yeah. It's a common problem with middle-aged men, so I've heard. But he's like, no, he was 3 minutes early.
And then Jack all of a sudden is like, he just stands up and he looks around and he's sniffing the air like the Rock.
Yes. He's sniffing the air.
He's here.
I can smell him.
Harry's like, he could have blown that thing Pomoina, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could, he'd want to be here, but no, he would have, he would be crazy, but he's not stupid. Jack's like no, he knew we were up to something. He must be here.
And that's why he blew it early.
And it's like, well, they swept all the floors, they checked all the elevators, and Harry's like, well, what about the elevators? Like, no. And Jack's like, no, they checked the elevators.
What about the freight elevators?
Harry's like, well, what about the freight elevators?
Like, ooh, he's in a freight elevator. And so they go and they find they find the freight elevator. And they get into the shaft there. And they get down on top of the elevator. And they hear him inside. And
he's coughing, right? So they get down. They try to get there, they try to have marshmallow feet on.
Yes, they try to, but they got to jump down onto the top of this elevator. So, they try to land as softly as they can, but they're jumping a good 6 feet.
Yeah, 6 feet. Yeah,
down onto this elevator.
And, they're again, both of them are cops and
they
definitely fit. Right.
They've both got about 30 pounds of gear on them.
Yes. And so they're going to make some noise.
And they jump down and they climb a little bit.
Chance they, So, so they're just standing there. They're trying to, they're gesturing to each other, right?
Yeah. So Payne hears them, when they
and you hear this this blast, right?
Yeah, he's got a shotgun.
These shots going up through.
He's got a shotgun down there with him, and so he's just shooting up through the ceiling.
They're jumping. They're avoiding it, right? But yeah, obviously, the roof gives through, and Harry falls down to there, right?
And then
so he's just kind of sitting there, and
Payne's got him at
Howard
gunpoint.
has one hand on him, right? One hand on the gun, and then he hits a button, right? He wants it the top floor, right? Because obviously, Jack can't stand tall.
Yeah, but
when that hits the top floor.
But here's the thing: so he's got a secondary button unit in this elevator that he's hitting the buttons on. He's not actually hitting them on the panel that's on the elevator itself. He's hitting on this secondary panel that he has. And so he's sending the elevator up to the roof, and it's going up there. It's just like Die Hard. When John McClane's on the roof of the elevator and it's going up to the roof, And he sees that top part and he starts freaking out and he sort of ducks down, and there's just enough space between the top of the elevator and the roof of the shaft that John McClane is able to stay where he is and not let the terrorists know that he's on top of the elevator. However, this building is different. This building is more like the top of the elevator shaft in the first Mission Impossible movie, which I'm sure we will do at some point, and that's where I will leave it at that because I don't want to spoil that scene. But yeah, there's not enough room for Jack to be able to lay down in the prone position to avoid being crushed by the elevator and the roof of this shaft. So he has no choice but to jump down this hole that was made when Harry fell through.
Right. He joins Harry and Howard.
So
and then Howard plays his own little game. He's like,
so Howard
pop quiz, asshole.
Well, first Howard, when Jack jumps down, Howard's got a shotgun on Harry, and so Jack pulls out his gun and he's holding him at gunpoint. And Jack jumps down. Howard has the shotgun in Jack's face, and he pulls the trigger.
Yeah, and he
just
pulls
clicks.
the trigger.
He's out of ammo. And so that's when Jack stands up, draws his gun, and he's pointing it at Howard. And this is when Howard's like, pop quiz, asshole. He just tells
him, there's going to be 30 cops waiting for you in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Howard's like, oh, standard flanking deployment.
Well, first he's like, pop quiz, asshole. You got a
terrorist. He's got enough C4 in his chest
to blow
dynamite
on his chest. He's got enough dynamite strapped to his chest to blow a building in half.
To blow a hole in the world.
Yeah, no, that's later.
That's right. It's just to blow the building in half is this one. That's right.
And what do you do? Because obviously he heard their game earlier. So Jack puts his gun away. Well, no, he doesn't put his gun away. He's still holding it.
He keeps it drawn.
He's like, he keeps it drawn, and he's like,
he just tells him there's going to be 30 cops waiting for you in the basement.
That's when he tells him there's going to be 30 cops waiting for you in the basement, and he's like, oh, well, that's where then maybe maybe we'll get off on the third floor.
On the third floor,
and he hits the third floor on the panel on the elevator.
But then he hits the basement. Then he goes
and he hits P1, the parking garage.
Yes,
on his panel. He's like, or at least that's where they think we're going to go.
Yep.
Because his little panel, he is set up to override the elevator.
Technology to know what floor you're going to.
Yeah. So he's set up his little secondary panel to override the elevator panel. So the elevator panel shows what the elevator says it's going to be, but his panel is what controls the elevator.
Yep. So they get off, they back off, right? And as Jack, so he's got his piece drawn, right?
1911,
like,
great gun.
We're gonna get off here, right? And it's so he's basically he's holding Harry, and the other hand he's got the trigger there for the bomb. That's attached to him.
So he's got it's basically a suicide switch, right? So he's holding on to the stick and he's got the trigger pulled for it. So if Jack shoots him and causes him to let go of that trigger, the bomb explodes. And
so it's just like, you shoot me and they'll pick your friend up with a sponge. It's like, are you ready to die, friend?
And then Harry looks at Jack and he just whispers, shoot the hostage.
Well, before Harry says that, Harry says he says, fuck you.
Oh,
Howard.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck you. And then Howard is like, we've gone from I have but one life to give for my country to fuck you.
Fuck you.
I regret that I have one life. I have but one life to give for my country. To fuck you.
To fuck you. And he's like, say goodbye, Harry. And no, Howard's just kind of laughing. And that's when
Harry's like, shoot the hostage.
Harry's like,
and Jack doesn't hesitate.
You just see Jack's like, oh, he's like, slowed, you see him slightly move his aim.
He's like, yeah, Jack just like, he doesn't hesitate. He just like, okay. He just acknowledges that he just said that.
He shoots him
his aim, shoots him in the leg. Shoots Harry in the leg. And, of course...
And Howard's kind of confused by it.
Howard's confused by it.
He cuts to Harry. He's like, you fuck.
And he drops him. He drops Harry on the floor.
He shrugs.
And so then Howard, he's been backing up toward the door to the parking garage. And, opens up the door, and he starts laughing and shuts the door behind him.
Just telling him to freeze.
Yeah. But he's just backing up, still holding the stick. And
he keeps laughing.
He backs up into the parking garage, shuts the door behind him, and then as Jack goes after him, there's an explosion on the other side of the door, and Jack gets thrown back against the elevator, which... Here's the thing about that. So the explosion, and you see like the wall crack all around the door, right? Then Jack goes flying back against the wall, and then the wall that the door's on comes flying toward Jack. Wouldn't the pressure push the wall before it would get to Jack? Because that always confuses me there. Because the pressure should be pushing the wall and then get to Jack. Not get to Jack and then the wall.
That's
because the wall's between the explosion and Jack.
Yes.
So I don't know. Just a little nitpick, but
there's always gonna be little nitpicks.
I've never been thrown back by an explosion, so I don't know firsthand the physics of an explosion. So I don't know. Maybe they got it right.
They may have. I don't know. I mean, there's other things they do get wrong later, so which is fine. It is a movie.
Yep.
So then we cut to it's a ceremony, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving out these medals of honor. Yeah, they're giving out the highest ranking medal you can get
to police officers
as a member of the LAPD, right? And there's a few other officers there that are receiving it for some other.
They have medals.
Valor.
Yeah, they have medals, but Jack and Harry are standing at the end of the line. Harry now has a cast on his leg and a cane.
And the MC of it, announces that thanks to these men,
thanks to these two men,
I think
now we would like to give
13.
a special.
I said 13. That was the number. 13 other are alive, and the only person that died was the bomber himself.
Yeah. And thanks to these two men, we have this special honor that we want to give them.
Right.
And he said Harry's last name here. What? Oh, he said Harry's last name here. What was it?
Harry's last name. We should just look it up.
We should. But anyway, so.
Oh, that's right. Temple. Harry Temple.
Harry Temple. That's it.
So, yeah, you got the people that they say they're applauding in the audience. Then you cut to this little cheap, kind of like a ratty apartment. And this little box TV, and he's watching it. And then you see these hands, and you see a four-fingered hand as part of the clap. And you see Howard just saying, "Way to go, Jack! Way to go!" Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we cut to it's a party the after party, right? They're celebrating what Jack and Harry did, right? And they're drinking and. They got
Harry's
all the
drunk.
Other cops there, and Harry's getting drunk.
Harry is drunk, and he's like, he's looking. He's like, oh, just a few more inches, and they would have been giving my wife a flag. And. Oh, no, but what we missed was what we didn't mention when they were getting their medals. That's
right.
Because they're like, when they're getting their medals, they're calling Harry up there, Harry Temple up there, and he's like, "You shot me." And Jack's like,
"I can't believe you shot me, you little
he's
prick."
like, "I can't believe you shot me, you little prick." Jack's like, "You told me to."
You told me to.
Anyway, then
right.
later,
I love, they finally get everybody together, and Mac is going to be giving the toast.
Yeah.
Right. And he gives this nice little thing about Harry. It's like, for being calm under pressure, right? For your quick wits, all these type of things.
All this really great stuff. And then to Jack for shooting Harry. Something we've all wanted to do for a very long time.
And then finally he's like, but seriously, like, here's to you guys for doing your jobs and not getting dead.
Yeah. And I guess Harry does not have a cast. He just has a cane.
Just a cane, yes.
But
so we kind of finally cut towards the end of the night. It's just Harry and Jack. They're talking.
No, Mac's there too.
What was that?
Mac's there too.
Yeah, Mac is there too. Yep. And
Jack, Harry, and Mac are talking.
Jack's like, no, we won. We got the bad guy. All right, and Harry's like, don't you understand? Don't you listen? Like,
he's like, a couple inches away.
Lucky.
Yeah, we were lucky. A couple inches away, and I would be dead.
They'd be giving the medal to my wife.
They'd be giving the medal to my wife
because he would have been shot in the femoral.
And he's like, skill only gets you so far. Your luck runs out. And it's real deep, especially coming from a drunk guy.
And Max just kind of there nodding his head. He's like, ain't that right? He's like, ain't that right? He's like, yeah. It's like, all right. So he decides to go home. And
so Harry.
So he stands up. He kind of struggles to walk. He's like, oh, I'm going to go home and have some sex.
And Jack's like, you're going to go home and throw up. He's like, well, that'll be fun too.
Right. So it cuts to the next day. Jack is obviously not as drunk as Harry.
Yeah.
He's not hungover.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't drunk that night.
That's
right. Harry was.
He drinks not that many.
Yeah. So it cuts to the next day. Jack is getting some coffee. He's at the local coffee shop.
His morning coffee.
And
I had the
actor's
name for the guy he gets it from, and I lost it, unfortunately. But I found out that this guy normally is like a stuntman.
Huh.
But he plays a barista or a coffee shop,
Wait, no. Is Bob the barista or is Bob the... Bob is the bus driver.
The bus driver.
Comes in. So, is it Vince?
It's Vince, I guess.
So, Thomas Rosales Jr. Yeah, I think Vince was the name of the guy at the coffee shop.
Right. And so Bob comes in as he's doing his order, right?
Yeah. So Bob is a bus driver that Jack knows, and Jack also knows Vince.
He knows. I guess they know each other because they get their coffee and muffins or whatever at the same time.
Yeah.
Each day.
So they've got to know each other
at this coffee shop, right? And they know Vince here, right? And so and Vince has. I mean, Bob doesn't know that that Jack just got awarded this medal for saving a bunch of people's lives, right? And that, the celebration was last night, right? And so, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, well, the last time something like that happened, I woke up married, right? And they kind of joke back and forth, and they say their goodbye for the day. And Jack's almost out the door.
And then Vince reminds him, hey, your muffin.
Jack, your muffin.
And so Jack turns around and goes, he has a muffin. And at this time, in the time that took Jack to turn around his muffin, Bob has made it to his bus. And he gets in his bus and, he starts driving off. And then the bus explodes as Jack is walking out of the bus is driving off.
Jack gets back out of the coffee shop he starts walking towards his car. He kind of puts up his coffee cup, say hi to Bob as he's driving off. And that's when the bus explodes.
And so Jack goes running up to the bus and tries to look in the window to see if Bob's okay, and obviously
and you just
Bob's
hear his
not.
last dying breaths.
Yeah, he hears his gurgling.
Agony, right?
And yeah, so then the payphone rings.
Damn! And everyone else is like, yep. Everyone, you have all these people gathering around because a bus just exploded.
Mm-hmm.
But then the payphone rings. And they're like, oh, why is a payphone ringing,
and
right?
Jack goes over and answers it, and it's Howard Payne. It's Dennis Hopper's voice. Asking Jack if he got his attention.
Yep.
And luckily, it didn't seem like that bus had any people on it other than Bob.
Right.
Because he had stopped it to go and
totally started his run yet.
So he tells him that there's another bus that has a bomb on it.
Because their game's not finished. He still owed his money that Jack screwed him out of.
Yeah.
But he's upped the price. Not just $3 million. Now it's $3.8 million.
Yes, now it's $3.8 million. I don't know why it's 3.8 and not 4.
Hey, I don't know how many months is between the two. I guess he just figured inflation. And
yeah. Yep, it could be.
So yeah, he just says like, pop quiz hot shot. There's a bomb on another bus. It's rigged so that when it hits 50 miles, it's set so that when it hits 50 miles an hour, the bomb is armed. If it drops below 50, the bomb explodes. The bus explodes. What do you do?
Yeah. So
Jack's just like, I'd want to know what bus it is. Like, you think I'm going to tell you that? Jack's like, yes. It's like,
like,
good.
Good. You're in luck. It's bus 2525. And no, then he's also saying
this corner at this time.
Well, before that, he's saying
the ground rules. No one gets off the bus.
No one gets off the bus, and I need my money by 11 o'clock, by 11 a.m.
That's right, yeah, 11 o'clock.
And Jack looks at his watch.
And it's just after 8. It's like, I can't pull out the kind of money in time. He's like, no, you tell the bean counters, right? I'm going to get what I'm owed or whatever. Like, no. 11 o'clock.
Yeah. And
that's when he tells him, like, okay, this is like the intersection that's about to be at, right? Mm-hmm. And before he could say it, like, not Harry, Howard is giving him some more information, but Jack at this point, he just drops the phone and
runs to his car and drives off.
Right? He's got a nice little, like, SUV, right? And now it cuts to bus 2525, and it's leaving a bus stop. But Sandra Bullock is running after it. Right? And she gets up to it because it's just left. And she's yelling, Sam! Right? Because Sam's this bus driver, right? He opens the doors. He's like, this ain't no bus stop.
First he sees Annie in the mirror, and he's like, oh, Annie.
That's right.
And he stops and he opens the door. Like, this ain't no bus stop.
Sam is played by Hawthorne James.
Yep. Who was also in he wasn't in Murder, She Wrote, unfortunately. Or Touched by an Angel. Or Doctor Who.
We haven't had Doctor Who in a while, have we?
We haven't. But he was in 7 a year later.
That's the one I was going to bring up, was 7. Okay.
Yeah, a year after this.
It's a movie we have talked about multiple times.
Yes, which we will be doing sometime.
So she gets on the bus. She pays her fare. She's like, you are a good, kind man.
And so she goes back and sits down. As soon as she sits down.
She sits down in front of Alan Ruck.
Yes. She sits down and up in front of Alan Ruck, who starts talking. Starts talking her ear off, talking about how he's a tourist.
Yes, his name is Stevens. He's just billed as Stevens.
Yep, his name is Stevens, and he's like, he just
first
got back
time in L.A. And she's like, I live here. It's like, oh no, I meant me. It's like, can't you tell I'm a tourist? And he holds up his camera and all these maps and brochures, and
I gotta admit it, I'm a tourist. Yeah, he's like, I just got back from the airport. And he's like, here to see the sights. Yep. And he's just going on and on.
He's being chatty and she's annoyed. So she just takes the gum out of her mouth
and sticks it to her thumb.
Pulls it on her fingers like,
oh, I found there's gum on my seat.
I got gum on my seat.
Gum. And moves over and sits next to Beth Grant.
To Beth Grant. She plays Helen. Right? And, they're talking, and Helen's like, yeah, no, I used to like to drive into work, but the freeway is like, this way, I just like to sit down and enjoy the ride to work. Right? And then Annie's like, oh, well, I like my car. I miss my car.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that little nugget later.
Yep.
But so right now they're still kind of on a city street, right? And then eventually they get onto the freeway. Right? And we're getting shots of, helicopters kind of following this bus that we see, right? And it's bus 2525. And right, and now Jack, he's racing through the streets. He's running red lights and stop signs, right? He's trying to get everything possible to catch up with this bus and get to, he gets to the freeway, right? And
it's kind of blocked a little bit, so he can't actually get up with the bus. So he parks his car, he gets out, and he runs alongside the bus.
The bus has not hit 50 miles an hour.
No,
right? Obviously, it was hitting stops earlier, so there's no way. It was city streets. It's going like 25, 30 miles an hour at the most.
So it's basically right now it's on the entrance ramp onto the highway.
Right?
And so Jack's running next to it, banging on the side of the bus, telling him to open up.
Happened just up ahead, and it slows down, right? And so it kind of comes pretty much at a stop. And Annie's like, hey, Sam, can't you just drive over all these people?
Yeah, can't you just run over them?
And Sam's like, don't spit on my bus, Annie. Don't spit on my bus, Annie.
but yeah, so
then Jack's gets out just behind it, and he leaves his car in the middle of the freeway.
He just leaves it right there, runs up next to the bus. He's banging on the side of the bus, telling him to open the door, telling him he's LAPD. And as he's saying LAPD, then there's this one passenger
towards the back of the
bus that looks out the window,
and he's just looking. He's looking strangely at him. He's
has this interesting look on his face.
And Sam, he looks at him, he's like, this ain't no bus stop. He smashes the window on the door.
And Annie's like, don't let him in, Sam.
So, the bus is able to kind of get over the next lane as it's, traffic's kind of loosening up a little bit.
And keeps going. Meanwhile, Jack, can no longer run as fast as the bus is going, he turns around, he pulls his badge out, and he's trying to stop cars.
He's trying to stop different cars.
And finally, there's a Jaguar that's coming up. There's a black Jag. And he stands right in front of it, puts his badge out there, tells the driver to stop, and the driver stops.
This is Glenn Plummer.
Yes, this is Glenn Plummer. And
it's like, this is my car. It is not stolen.
Yeah, this is my car. It's not stolen. And Jack pulls his gun out. He's like, it is now.
I was like, fuck.
And Jack's like, move over. So, Glenn Plummer moves over to the passenger seat.
And then Jack gets in, peels off.
Yeah. And he's pulling up, driving up. He weaves in and out of traffic to get up next to this bus. And we got one guy in the bus, Ortiz, played by Carlos Carrasco. He's like, oh, that guy's really got a hard on for this bus.
Side of the bus, the driver's side of the bus. And he just starts honking the horn.
Yeah.
He pulls up even, and he's looking at Sam in the window. And there's one guy, like you said, Ortiz is like, that man's got a hard on for this bus. I love Ortiz.
I do too. Good old Gigantor.
Ortiz, by the way, played by Carlos Carrasco.
Uh-huh. And then, so he's like trying to yell to him, but the driver, but Sam can't hear what he's saying.
Opens his little window.
He opens his little window and he's trying to hear what he's saying.
There's a bomb on the bus.
And then this is when Glenn Plummer.
He's cleared this Jaguar owner.
Yeah.
So he stands up. He's about to yell, "There's a bomb!" Like, there's a what?
He's like, "There's a bomb on the what? There's a what?" So
right, and there's
Jack
a point where
pulls forward. Like, they have a piece of paper.
He's impressed because he makes this nice move to get around traffic. It's like, that was a nice move, man.
And so there's this piece of paper in the car, and so Jack's like, "See that? Take that permanent right on the back of it, right? Bomb on bus." So he pulls forward in front of the bus, and has Glenn Plummer hold up the sign that he just made. And when he holds it up, and they sort of have to swerve a little bit, and he drops it, and so the wind blows it up against the windshield of the bus.
And he reads it.
And Sam is able to read it.
And he believes it.
And he believes it, and he starts easing off the gas.
And the bomb, as we have not mentioned it, at this point, they've gotten the highway speed.
At this point, they've gotten over 50 miles an hour. And so the bomb has armed. And so now if they drop below 50, it's going to explode. And so he starts easing off the gas, and Jack realizes that they're slowing down.
Because he ends up looking down at his thing. He's like, oh, yeah. And so then he swerves over to the right lane and starts slowing
he gets
down.
Next to it. He gets next to the bus, and he gets Sam to open the door.
He's able to communicate to open the door.
Mm-hmm. And so Sam opens the door. He's like, stay above 50.
Stay above 50.
And so Sam's like, okay. So he speeds up, and then Jack's like, I got to get on that bus. And Glenn Plummer's like, yeah, you got to get on that bus.
yeah, you get on that bus.
You get on that bus.
And he looks down.
I just want my car back.
He's like, and I'm going to need to take your phone. Take the phone.
Well, before that. So he pulls up. Jack pulls up.
I'll tell you, he does this first. He speeds in front of it first.
He speeds up in front of it. He's still in the right lane. He opens the. He's like,
the driver's side door.
Before he opens the door, he asks Glenn Plummer, "Are you insured?"
Are you insured?
He's like, "Yes, I'm insured."
He's like, yeah.
And then he opens up the door and slams on his brakes, so that when the bus comes forward, it rips the driver's side door off of the Jaguar. And then Glenn Plummer starts freaking like, oh man, you just ripped my door off. And then this is when Jack's like, I'm gonna need to borrow your phone. It's like, just take the phone, man. Just take it. So he tells Glenn Plummer to grab the wheel.
He gets the phone. It's like, all right. And he looks like, you're gonna need to take the wheel.
It's like, what? He's like, take the wheel. So then he realizes he's going to try to jump over onto the bus. So Glenn Plummer takes the wheel, and Jack looks at Sam. He's like, just drive straight. Keep it steady.
Everyone on the bus, they're looking out the window. Alan Ruck, he's got his camera out. He's taking pictures of it.
Of course he is. He's a tourist. So Jack jumps across, barely makes it into the bus.
Yeah. His feet kind of drag a little bit on the ground, but he gets up. His body's basically all in the bus.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Glenn Plummer, who has now jumped into the driver's seat of his Jag, realizes that there's an off-ramp coming up, and he's running out of lane.
So he kind of swerves, and it basically just starts going straight. And so thankfully, there's these water barrels.
Yeah, he hits at the end of it. It's basically trash cans filled with water. Yep. So he slams the brakes.
He's going straight at them. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Water explodes everywhere, and he's just sitting in his Jag wet.
And he's like, ugh.
Good thing he's insured.
And we don't see him for the rest of the movie.
Nope. But you do see him at the end of Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Which I like, because you feel assured that
he's in the Caribbean.
All of that, he ended up okay.
Yeah, but this time he's in the Caribbean, and instead of a Jaguar, he's in a motorboat that then gets commandeered by the cop in that movie. So
anyway, so he's Jack's talking with Sam, right? And everyone's kind of scared on the bus. So Annie decides, like, you know what, I need to step in here. It's like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's kind of ignoring her, and finally, she forces him in. I was like, he's like, no, ma'am, you got to step back a bit. He calls her ma'am. I love this.
Her ma'am.
He's so respectful.
He calls her ma'am.
Calling her ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't know her name.
It's like, no, I'm sorry, but you're scaring the shit out of all these people.
But yeah, he's sort of just, brushing her off, and, still talking to the driver. He's like, say above 50.
So, and finally she decides to sit down.
Yeah. So she sits down, and Harry. No, first he turns around to address the passengers. And he's like, all right, folks, we have a little situation. Everybody just stay calm and we can get through this. And then the guy that was toward the back of the bus, who was kind of looking at him funny when he was saying he was LAPD, stands up and pulls a gun. And so Jack pulls his gun, and they have a little standoff there, and Jack is like
telling Sam to stop the bus. It's like he can't stop the bus. It's like he's like, shut up. It's like, no. It's like,
and Jack is like,
finally, like,
hey,
you know what?
I don't know what you did.
I'm not here for you, man.
Yeah, I'm not here for you, man.
I don't know you.
I don't know you. I'm sure whatever you did, you are very, very sorry.
I love how he said, whatever you did, I'm sure that you're very sorry.
Now I'm going to put my gun away.
I'm not a cop right now.
And so Jack puts his gun away, and the other guy is still pointing his gun at Jack. And that's when Ortiz, who's sitting right next to where the guy is standing with the gun, and he decides he's going to help. So he tackles the guy and, causes the guy to, as he's moving around, he accidentally pulls the trigger and shoots Sam in the back. And so
now all of a sudden, like, Helen and Annie are concerned about Sam.
Mm-hmm.
He's been shot.
Yeah.
Right?
So
they have a little, then there's a little tussle with the guy, and obviously, Jack wins that. And
Jack ends up handcuffing the guy,
gets him down
to one of the
hands,
seats.
The seats, kind of like a little handle, it's like a handlebar.
The little handlebar on the top of them.
The bar there. So it's got space where he can cuff him, right?
Yeah, so he cuffs him to the seat. And then
Annie is trying to get Sam out of the seat. Yeah.
Annie's trying to get Sam out of the seat.
He's got his foot down on that gas pedal.
Pushing down on that gas pedal. He is trying to just floor it. And Annie's like, take your foot off the gas. Take your foot off the gas. And she's trying to force his foot off of the gas pedal. And that's when Jack, as he's cuffing the other guy, he's like, no, we can't slow down or we'll explode. And then everybody's like, what?
All of a sudden like, what?
And
then, he gets the guy cuffs like, there is a bomb on this bus.
So the guy with the gun is Ray.
If we slow down, it will blow. If anyone gets off, it will explode.
Yeah.
Right? And there's another guy that's there. He's there with his mom. He's like, real funny joke, man. Sure, there's a bomb.
Yeah, I mean, why would he just jumped at highway speeds, jumped from a car into the bus, and then took down a guy that was trying to shoot him. Why would he be lying about there being a bomb on the bus?
So, yeah. But, and even if he doesn't fully believe it yet, he just has to go with it. He goes with it. Everybody else on the bus goes with it.
So.
Right? And so then he walks up to Annie, who's driving. He's like, hey, can you handle this? She's like, yeah, it's just like driving a really big Pinto.
Calls her ma'am again.
Calls her ma'am again. Yes.
Yeah.
And then she says, like, well,
just like driving a really big
right
Pinto.
now. She's like, right now, just drive.
Keep it above 50 and drive.
And that's when he calls Harry.
Yeah, that's when he calls Harry.
Harry answers the phone. Harry is at his desk. He is
in pain.
He's just like, he's like, he's like, Harry, it's Jack. Because, like, you know, and he's like, you better be coming in because I dragged my ass in.
And Jack's like, he's alive.
Harry, he's alive. And that's when Matt comes in. It's like, Harry, yeah, he's back. He already got one bomber.
There's a bus.
Claims he's got a bomb on another bus.
Where's Jack? And Harry's like, where do you think? Because they just know Jack's going to be on that bus.
Yep. So, they're driving, and they're talking. They're still on the freeway.
And
right?
This is when,
and then so he's back. He's still back on the phone with Harry, and he's like, it's like, Harry's like, you got to look at the bomb. He's like,
you got to see the bomb. He's like, I can't see.
The bus is kind of in motion.
The bus is kind of motion. I can't really get under it to see the bomb. And Sam sort of calls out to him. He's like, access hatch
underneath
by your
man.
feet. And so Jack looks down and there's an access hatch right at his feet. So he goes down and he opens it up, and then he calls Alan Ruck over, calls Stevens over, and he's like, passenger relay. He hands Stevens the phone.
And it's like, tell him what I see.
Right? Tell him what I see. And he sticks his head down in there, and he's like, there's a wad, pretty big. And so Alan Ruck is like, there's a pretty big wad.
It's like, I think he reads the circuit breaker.
I think he reads the circuit breaker. Like he's like,
no, that's decoy.
He's like,
classic.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, that's a
classic decoy.
Classic. And he's like, that's classic decoy. It's like, okay. And then Jack's like, or then Harry's like, what else? And Alan Ruck's like, what else?
What else?
And
so
Jack,
he sees, there's a speedometer there. That shows the speed.
And then
he sees a gold watch.
Right next to there's a gold watch, and he sees all this C4.
And he says, fuck
He's
me.
Like, fuck me. And then Alan Ruck gets this real concerned look on his face. And he just relays to Harry, oh darn. I always loved that.
Oh darn.
Oh darn. So Jack pops back up, takes the phone from Alan Ruck. He's
there's enough C4 here to put a hole in the world.
Yeah. Which we never see him close the access hatch.
No, we don't. I'm sure they do. Anyway.
Yeah, they do, because they're standing right on top of it later in the movie. But we never actually see him close it.
So I know they talk a little bit, and then finally Jack's like, like, and there's he has a watch, it's a timer, right? He's like, Jack's like, Jack. He's like, what kind of a watch? Like, gold,
fairly cheesy. Like, who uses a watch as a timer? It's a terrible timer, unless he's trying to send us a message. So that gets the gears turning.
But then that's when, as they're talking, Annie, she's driving, and there's a slowdown.
Mm-hmm. And there's basically a
and she's trying to get his attention,
ramp.
And he's crouched, he's talking. He's like just one minute, right?
So she's like, officer.
Kind of like how parents would say, like, 1 minute to a child.
Yeah. And she gets on the microphone.
She gets the mic.
And she's like, officer!
And he sees it. And
Stay on or get off. Stay on or get off.
For them, they're right up by an exit.
Yeah. So like she's like, stay on or get off, stay on or get off. And he's like, get off.
And then it's one of those great scenes where they get off, and like even the off ramp, like it's just like a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just going on the shoulder on
Yep.
the driver's side of the cars, right? And they're basically just taking everybody's mirrors off.
No, they're on the on the driver's side of the cars. Because that's after. No, actually, first off, they were taking the shoulder on the ramp, and then after they got off the ramp, they were still going sort of down the city streets there, down the residential streets, and that's what.
Meanwhile, what's kind of happening on this
just taking
is
them out.
As Jack and Harry were talking, Mac got into a chopper with Sergeant Norwood, right, and so they're going to be tracking everything that's happened, right. And Norwood is played by Richard Lineback.
Yep.
Who is, decided to Swayze a tornado, as we discussed in the intro.
Yep.
Right. So now that they're off the highway, now they're in the city streets. And they're having to avoid everything, right? Because obviously they can't stop at a red light.
Nope.
And so they're encountering just anything you can imagine, right? And they get to this one intersection. There's this woman. She's talking with a friend. She's got a baby stroller, and she decides to not look both ways across the street.
So everybody, before you cross the street, make sure to look both ways. You don't know when a bus is going to come barreling down the road.
There might be a bus with Keanu Reeves on it.
There might be. There might be a bus that can't stop, otherwise it'll blow up. So look both ways. It's very important, people. But this lady doesn't look both ways.
She slams in the stroller, right? And Annie's freaking out.
Annie's freaking out because she thinks she just killed a baby.
You just see a shot of this stroller flying through the air. And
then, so the lady is like pissed off because like, you just hit my stroller.
And bitch.
So Annie's freaking out because she thinks she just killed a baby. And the stroller.
She lets go of the wheel, and and Jack has to hang on to it, right?
And so the stroller crashes down on the floor, on the ground. And as soon as it hits the ground, all these cans come spilling out of it. And Jack's relieved. He's like, it's okay. It's cans. And Annie's like, are you sure? He's like, yes, it's cans. He's like, oh, okay.
I thought I just slaughtered a baby.
And then it shows the lady, and she's like yelling and flipping the van on, flipping the bus
she's
off.
Screaming.
She's screaming. It's like, those are my cans. So then
not going to get any money for those cans now.
Well, she still will if she collects them again.
Yes. Hopefully she's diligent enough for that.
Yeah. I mean, she may have to get something else to carry him in because the stroller's kind of screwed. But
yeah, that's true.
But
so
they're
going.
He's talking to Mac.
So they're zipping around these corners,
and Jack's talking to Mac.
There's a corner where
there's going to be a soft right turn coming up.
Before the turn, we see this corner, and there's a bunch of school kids across the street.
Yes,
right. And they have cop cars now that are kind of ahead of the bus, right?
And there is a crossing guard.
Clear the way, right?
There's a crossing guard who's clearly not doing his job.
Or O-line. Yeah, clearly not. Because after like 3 or 4 cop cars speed by, like, we're just going to step out into the street now.
Yeah. You have 3 or 4 cop cars speeding by. You don't just right away start walking a bunch of kids out into the middle of the street.
And it's a curve. It's a blind curve for both if you're at the corner crossing it and if you're driving going around it. You're not going to see anyone standing in the corner.
So they start walking out. They get about halfway across the street, and the bus comes speeding around the corner. And Annie just narrowly misses hitting a bunch of school kids.
Yes.
Yeah, right? She swerves. She misses
so
them.
they just keep being these near misses. And so, like, Mac, you got to get me out of here.
And then she starts yelling back. She's like, why aren't you in school? You should be in school.
No, we got a plan for you. There's a freeway that's under construction. That's right. I love that. Why are you in school?
Yeah, Mac's like, all right, there's going to be a soft right up ahead, and then it'll get you onto a freeway that's under construction. It's clear. There's no traffic on there. It's shut down. We have units waiting for you there that can escort you. So.
It's so. Jack's looking at it. It's like. He's like, I know that looks like a dead end. And he's telling Annie, he's like, it's supposed to be right up. He's like, and Annie's just like, no, that looks like a dead end. It's like, no, there's supposed to be a right there. it's like, and finally, like, we're gonna tip over, right?
Because it's supposed to be a soft. No, there was the soft right, but then shortly after that, there was the sharp right. So they take a soft right, and they're on the highway with the cops around them, and then they come up to the 90-degree right turn. And
so they get the cops to go ahead, and they block it so that no one comes from the other direction, right? And Jack makes sure he gets everybody the other side of the bus, right?
Like, we're gonna flip over. He's like, everybody get on this side of the bus, on the right side of the bus,
right? And so she starts spinning the wheel, right?
And they're turning. They get
Jack
up on two wheels.
Get it with her, right, to kind of keep it turning and keep it in control. Because this thing doesn't have power steering.
No. So they turn it as sharp as they can, as hard as they can, and everybody's on the right side of the bus.
I like how they
counterbalance the weight.
I like the shot where they flip the blinker on.
Yes,
and you just get the turn signal. I love that. The blinker.
Danny turns the blinker on. And so they turn right. They do a sharp right turn. They get up on two wheels. The bus almost tips over, but there's enough weight on the right side that it brings the wheels back down.
Yep,
and keeps them from flipping.
They shift a bit. Speed goes down a little bit, but then they're able to recover and they get back to speed to get onto that highway.
Mm-hmm.
What we missed earlier, before they got off the initial highway, is right after, like, as he's calling Harry. She's like, so, no, she's talking to Jack, right? And she's like, so you're a cop, right? He's like, yeah. It's like, well, I think you should know why I'm riding this bus.
Yeah. He's like, what? She's like, I had my license revoked. He's like, for what? She's like, speeding.
So they're on the side of the highway now.
And meanwhile, Jack has been talking to Harry. It's been cutting back to Harry, and Harry's been trying to find this bomber. So he knows that there's...
He's trying to figure it out.
He knows that it's somebody who knows bombs, right?
Some of the evidence from the other bomb is this guy knows everything we do to dismantle them.
Like, he uses dynamite. He uses C4. He knows all the stuff. A bomber...
Yeah, he has all these things. His MO doesn't stay the same.
It's like a bomber picks one type of bomb and he sticks with it. They're very monogamous. They're very monogamistic about their bombs. They find one that they like and they stick with it. But this guy uses dynamite. He uses C4. He uses
different trigger every time.
And
then he's like, he does everything. Then he does everything we do to dismantle them.
So he's like,
and then
search the files for the last 10 years. And, one of the other cops that's there is like, she's like, we've already searched the files.
All
for
the mugshots.
We've already looked through mugshots. We can't find them. He's like, I want cops. Look at cops. And she's like, okay. So goes to get the files again. And then, it's back to the bus.
Right. And so not long after they get on that second freeway, right? Annie finally asks, like, what's this guy's deal? Did he like bomb his country or something?
And he's like, no,
a little while back, He tried to, blow some other people up, and I stopped him, and he's angry at me, and
Yeah. So it's a game to
right,
him.
and so like now I guess to play this game that he tries to blow things up, and I try to stop him.
Yeah. So if the
And it's
bus
like, well,
blows
what if we
up,
win?
he
It's like,
wins.
well, we'll
If
play another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, that's I can't drive tomorrow.
Just like, I'm not available to drive tomorrow. I'm busy. So throughout this movie, I mean, yes, I like that they break up the tension with some humor.
Yes,
but it's very inappropriate humor for the situation because it's all like flirty banter between Annie and Jack. It's like right in the middle of this bus bomb crisis, they just decide to start flirting with each other the whole time.
Yeah, can't drive tomorrow. I'm busy. Yes, you're gonna be busy. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be one. I'll tell you. Well, that's the thing. Maybe mayhem is just his way of his term of endearment.
But that's also when
I don't
when know. He had called her and he called her ma'am and she's like, Annie. He's like, what? It's like, that's my name. You called me ma'am before. Annie.
And so he finally gets a call from Howard.
Yeah, from Howard. And Howard's like, hey, he's like, so you're on the bus and, just tell that wildcat behind the wheel not to get any ideas.
I guess actually before that happens, you got the flatbed that the cops are on that pull up.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
And so Mac, comes up and they're talking across. And he's like, we gotta get these people off the bus. And Harry's like,
yeah, Jack's like, no, we can't do that. He's gonna blow it.
He's like, he'll see, and he points up at the sky.
Yeah,
right,
because there's helicopters.
At this point,
there's news choppers.
News stations have caught on to what's happening.
And he's like, we've got to get these helicopters out of the air. And he's like, we can't get the people off because if we try to get somebody off, he'll blow it. And so then,
remember,
so then Howard
he's crazy. Calls. He's not stupid.
Yeah. So Howard calls,
right.
And Jack is pleading with him to, let him get one person off the bus.
It's like, give me the driver. He's shot. Give me the
driver. He's been shot.
And guess what? It'll earn you some goodwill. I love Howard's response. Like, tell me you haven't been shooting the passengers.
We haven't been shooting the passengers.
See, the humor from him is appropriate.
Yes, it is. So then he's like, okay, you can get the driver off, but tell that wildcat behind the wheel not to get any ideas.
Oh, Jack, don't even attempt to grow a brain.
Yeah, don't even attempt to grow a brain. So, they get lined up, with the trailer next to him, with the flatbed trailer, to try to get the driver off.
You have Helen back there. She's wondering, like, oh, what's happening? It's like, they're going to let us get the driver off.
Mm-hmm.
And Helen's like, what about the rest of us? What about the rest of us? It's like that. It's him for now.
Yeah.
Right.
So they go. It takes a little bit of adjusting,
so
but
Jack and Ortiz.
They're
help to get Sam across. Right. They get up nice and close.
Jack. So Jack calls over to Ortiz, but he doesn't know his name yet. So he just calls him Gigantor. Right. He's like, Gigantor, help me out here.
He's like, Gigantor.
And he's like, Ortiz. He's like, Ortiz, help me with this guy. So they get Sam up, and it takes a little bit of adjusting between the truck and the bus, but they're able to line it up to where they can pass Sam over to the cops that are on the flatbed. And so they get him out of there, and
so he gets off, and
Helen,
everyone's happy and excited.
And Helen comes walking up toward the door,
right?
And one of the cops that's on the trailer sees her, and he's like, "Come on, ma'am, I can get you off of there." Obviously, he didn't get the memo.
Helen keeps looking.
And so she decides she's going to try to get off this bus. And so she reaches out to him, and as soon as she does,
well, we cut to a shot, and you see Howard.
Yeah, Howard in his apartment,
his TV.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you see him with his little switch or whatever.
Yeah, he's watching the feed from one of the helicopters, and
you see her reaching out, and then Annie sees this. She's like, "No, Helen, no." But then you hear a boom.
Yep. There's an explosion right under Helen's feet. And a hole opens up right under the door.
Go down, and then Jack's not far, obviously. You see him kind of dive and try to grab her.
Yeah, but she falls.
You see the bus
run
over her.
Falls under the bus and gets run over. And then Annie's freaking out.
Yep. And just all of a sudden, the music just changes now. This like kind of fast-paced, action-oriented thing. It's a little bit more somber.
Everybody on the bus is freaking out.
Downcast.
And they're like,
Jack's looking down. He's looking at Max like, "You gotta get these damn choppers out of here." Right? And then cuts to Howard, and he's watching his TV. And, he looks at, he's looking at this thing. The newscaster's like,
the woman,
because they've kind of cut.
No.
They've shown us some of the news feeds before about how earlier this morning, this other bomb exploded on this other bus. We don't know if it's related.
Yeah, we see this.
And the caster's like, but there was an
explosion,
breaking development where
it was this
woman
an explosion
on the bus, and a woman got caught
under the
bus. This is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And how it's like interactive TV, Jack,
the wave of the future.
And chuckles at it, right?
So then, Jack,
get back on the bus, and everyone's just...
Annie's she's upset. She's like, I thought that was the big one. I thought we were all dead. But is it bad that I'm relieved that we're not?
It's like, no.
And Jack's like, no.
She was a nice lady, but she got off. We all would have died.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's the asshole.
He's the asshole. It's not bad that you're relieved that you didn't die.
You get an argument that breaks out, kind of on the back of the bus, and because then you have Stevens, and he's just like, I can't die here, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do this, right? And he's really upset about it.
And Ortiz is like,
Ortiz does not like how he's talking about it. It's like, man, I got a wife and a family.
He's like, yeah, I got a wife, and then
Stevens like, oh, no, you do?
It wasn't Stevens. It was the other guy.
Stevens is the one that first talks about it.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
Stevens is the guy that first talks about it. Then Ortiz chimes in and was like, I got a wife, and the young guy, he forget his name. But the young guy, he's like, oh, so because you have a wife and I don't.
Oh, yeah, sure as a bomb.
Yeah.
Same guy from, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. But yeah, he's like, since you have a wife and I don't, that makes me expendable? And Ortiz is like, that's not what I meant. But yeah, so they're arguing.
Jack kind of calms it all down. I get it. It's it's a stressful situation.
It's a very stressful situation.
And they kind of got into a point where they had these close calls and things seem at ease, and they're able to get the driver off, and this tragedy happens, right? Obviously at some point they're going to get frayed. So,
yeah.
So while they're doing that, it's not long after that, then we cut to Norwood, right? And he's in the actual cab of the truck that's pulling this flatbed where Mac and these other officers are on.
Yeah.
I love him. He's like you just hear him like, are you sure?
Yeah.
he radios back to back like, we got a problem. There's a gap in the freeway ahead. And Mac's like, what? Like it's finished on the map.
Yeah,
it's like no,
it's there.
The spotter's in the air,
but it's finished on the map.
They caught a gap in the road. And Mac's like, no, it's finished on the damn map.
Like, well, I guess they got delayed.
I guess they fell behind.
I guess they fell behind.
Max
like, how big is the gap? He's like, at least 50 feet.
It's like 50 feet, at least. I love him.
Yeah.
He's just, his lines, delivery in this movie. He's like the unsung hero of this movie.
Yes.
Basically for this scene.
Yes.
And then Mac looks at it. He's like, oh, you're fired. Everybody's all fucking fired.
Everybody's fucking fired. So he gets Jack to come over to him.
He has him pull closer to the bus,
and he tells him,
Jack's like, "Hey, Jack,
a few miles down the road, there's a gap in the road." And Jack's like, "Gap? How big?" He's like, 50 feet. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's about 2 miles up the road. He's like, trying to think about it, like, oh, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And so he goes and he tells Annie. He's like, well, he addresses the bus. He's like, there's a gap in the road up ahead, a 50-foot gap. And Annie's like, well, what if I just put it in neutral and rev the engine?
No, he would have thought of that.
And he's like, yeah, he would have thought of that. So they're all, they're all confused as to what they're going to do. Nobody knows how they're going to deal with a 50-foot gap in the road. And then Jack gets an idea. And he just looks at Annie. He's like, floor it.
She's like, what?
Floor it? Floor it. He's like, we're going to jump it. We're going to Evel Knievel this bitch.
So, yeah, it's an interchange. There might be an incline.
He's like, there's an interchange. Yeah, it's an interchange. There might be an incline. We're going to jump it.
Right? And so he starts talking to everybody. It's like, okay, yeah, it's what we're going to do. When you hit it, you're going to have to put your heads down, right? Make sure you have everything under, like, your seat. There's this nice elderly African-American couple. It's like, let's put this here, right?
Yeah, I love this couple. They're just
chilling. They're enjoying the ride.
They're just going along for the ride. They don't complain. They don't try to argue with everybody. They just, they take their direction.
You know what? They're sitting back there. They're praying.
They're praying for everybody. They're just there for the ride. They're there for moral support. All of this, and it's just they don't create any undue ruckus.
There's a bunch of background people in this movie that are like on this bus that you don't really see. Like, there's one lady, she sits in the back seat of that bus the entire movie.
Yes.
She sits in the middle of that back seat. There's a bed sheet in the back.
She's just chilling back there
in the middle of it the entire movie.
She's just chilling back there. He's like, oh, there's nothing I can do, so I'm just going to sit back here.
I'm going to look back. I'm going to wave to people on the road. Anyway, so everybody's ready, right? And the flatbed with the cops, like, they got to stop now because obviously
they
not
can't
try to jump that with a bunch of people on a flatbed.
No.
And what we talked about before is like this bus. Okay, its max speed is 70. The speedometer goes up to 70.
Yeah, and right? I mean, I'm sure there's a governor on this bus that won't even let it go that fast.
Yes, exactly. So she gets it to about 65. I think like 65 is the governor on this thing, right? Right, and now the music's picking up again. They got the great music as we talked about.
Yep.
Right, and we see the flatbed stop. And Norwood gets out. He stands up. He's watching it, and everyone's holding their breath on there, right? They know like that this might be it.
Yep.
This might be an extreme tragedy that's about to happen.
And they drive up to the edge of this gap. And
just as they hit it,
inexplicably, it's a pretty even, the two ends of this thing are pretty even with each other. There doesn't seem to be any sort of like ramp or anything. But I love how when the bus jumps off of the one end, it's like it hit a ramp because it like kicks up.
It does. I mean, it's a famous shot of it just kind of starting to glide through the air.
Yep. His bus is just gliding through the air, and it clears this 50-foot gap.
It's a leap of faith, right?
Like, it clears the gap. Like, easy.
It clears it easily.
Like, it Evel Knievel's this gap.
And it takes them a while because, like, they're bouncing around as it hits.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Right? And obviously, at this point, this is when it starts slowing down. And
thankfully,
both, Annie and Jack recover enough to be able to get up and drive it straight and get back on the gas again. And stay above 50.
Because, it almost dropped below 50. But, yeah. Thankfully.
And they're all celebrating on the other end.
Thankfully, it Evel Knieveled the gap and didn't hot rod the gap.
Yes.
But yeah, so they land it, and
they got that one guy's like, the young guy, he stands up, he's like, yeah, we are out of control. Ortiz looks at him like, you've got, he says that later, it's like, yeah, man, everyone's happy and they're cheering, and that's when Jack quickly sees that there's an exit right after this. There's an exit ready for them.
And
right
like,
after
take this exit. Take this exit.
And he sees it. It's LAX. Yep. And it's like the cargo fields
for LAX. And so Annie takes the exit. And they're driving right toward the airport and get up to the gate. And the security guard there is he's trying to stop him
because obviously a bus is not supposed to be going through that gate,
but they just blow right through it, and it's got those, like, coming up from the ground, it's got those little spikes that if you're coming in the wrong way, it's going to blow your tires, and so they run right over those, and it gets the tires. But we don't really see the effect of that right away. Because they're bus tires. They're not regular car tires.
No, it takes a little while, which is interesting. But we're getting an outside shot of the bus now, too. Like, the abs on the bus now. Like, that's got the one end has gotten shaken loose. So it's kind of fallen, right? And then, Stevens is there. He's looking around. He's like, we're at the airport.
Oh, we're at the airport.
And Ortiz like, yeah, so
like, I've already seen the airport.
I've already seen the airport.
So then,
Sean Mac, they're like car now, and Mac gets calls like, oh yeah, I think it's Norwood tells him like, oh no, they're at the airport. It's like, oh, that's
brilliant
move, Jack. Like,
Jack is brilliant. Yeah, Jack is brilliant.
Restricted airspace.
Yeah, that's restricted airspace. The helicopters can't go there, and they can just circle the runways. And so
we get. I guess we get another call from Howard at this point.
Yeah, so no, it does no. So yeah, we get. I think it goes back to Harry. Harry and the other cops that he has looking for Payne, and he's like, maybe we got in a scene with them before.
Anything yet?
They can't find anything
Harry's
yet.
Like,
and he's like,
Harry's like. It's like, no.
Look through the pension
stop
fund.
With LAPD. He lives here now. You gotta check You gotta check it.
Check the pension fund.
He may not be LAPD, I've seen this asshole,
but he lives here now. And that might have been earlier, because now might be the point where they bring up the record of Howard Payne. And they're like, Howard Payne, Atlanta PD, forced to retire in '89. With fingers numbering 9. And
they get a picture, and it's Dennis Hopper. He's wearing his blues, right?
Yeah, and Harry sees it. He's like,
and Jack,
we got our scumbag.
Well, no. Well, no, but he does. But that happens when Jack is under the bus trying to dismantle.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so maybe this time is when maybe this time is when he tells them to check the pension fund. So before they find out that it's Howard.
So there was a point there before that where he's talking with Howard. It's like, you gotta let me off here. Like, I gotta be able to talk with these people. They think you're scum, right? And Howard's like, no, they don't think that. right? And he finally convinces Howard to let him off the bus.
You gotta let me off. That's not against the rules.
That's right, because it's not against the rules. It's the passengers.
So Howard's
like, he plays the song. Like, yeah, okay.
He's like, all right, but don't go far.
So he lets him off. Don't go far, right? So he gets in the car with Mac. It's like, I gotta dismantle that bomb, right? And that's when he's talking through with Harry to do it, right?
Yeah.
But I love this scene because, like, they get in front of it, right? They got a little cart, they get the that he's gonna lie on. Like, they got attached to a winch on the back of this Jeep, right?
back of this truck.
And Harry's going to talk him through how to dismantle this bomb.
Yeah, so they're releasing the winch. So he's
I'm sorry. We should slightly go back. As he leaves, he's talking to people on the bus too, right?
Yeah,
and they're like, it's like, you're not going to leave us, are you? I like Ortiz is like, I would.
I would. It's like, don't worry, I'll be back in a minute.
And
he's like, I won't be gone for long.
As he's getting ready to slide under the bus as it's in motion, right? I like how Stevens and Ortiz, they get up close. They're talking to Annie, and first it's Ortiz talking to Annie, and then you see Stevens come up. He's like, "What is that?" And Annie looks at Ortiz like, "Get your ass behind the yellow line, Ortiz."
Get behind the yellow line. And Ortiz, his toes are in front of the yellow line.
No, it's his toes.
It's
like
toes. Not
even all of his toes. It's probably just his big toe.
So he pauses for a second, moves his feet a few inches back, so he's behind the yellow line. Yeah, so Jack gets on this little...
That's when Stevens comes up, and he sees that Jack's getting ready to get down on, he's going to...
Gets on this little cart.
Go onto the bus. And he's like, oh my goodness, he is insane.
Yeah, he's insane. And then as he's being, as the cable is being released and he's inching his way toward the bus, he kind of looks up and makes eye contact with Annie. Now, here's one part. It would be completely in his character, right? And I think it would be a nice touch if they had him wink at her. Every time I see this part, every time I see that scene, it's like he should wink at her right there. Just give her a little grin and a wink.
Because you're right, he does look up.
Because they make eye contact.
Oh yes, they make eye contact.
Yeah, I always thought there should be a wink there, but there's not.
So he gets onto the bus successfully. All right. Thankfully, it's not a windy day.
Mm-hmm. And the bus is high enough off the ground that he can fit under there. And so yeah, he gets he's right under the bomb.
Harry starts walking him through, and
he's like,
they're kind of the coverings of some of the wires.
He's like, you gotta check and see if it's if it's a carbon fiber or what the wire's made of. If it it'd be too risky for copper, so you gotta cut the insulation off the wire and check it, and so he does that. He's like, but don't cut the wire. So he says that. He's like, okay, now attach the battery that he brought with him. Attach the battery to the lead wire, and then to the bomb. And then when Jack goes to do that, he notices that if he does that, if he tries to bypass it, then it'll explode. And Harry's like, well, all right, there's nothing else we can do here. But that was when they're talking over the bomb. That's when the one cop comes in with Howard Payne's paperwork.
Yes.
With his information.
He's like, we got our scumbag.
It's our scumbag. And so Harry's like, okay, Jack, pull back. We're going to go after the source. And
right. And all of them leave. And unfortunately, he's not hobbled enough.
No.
Unfortunately, Harry is not hobbled enough.
I mean, he was...
Because he catches up with
He was using a cane the night before.
Yes.
But now he's like able to walk just fine without a limp and everything.
Yes.
Like when he's in the police station, he's limping. But when he's not, when he's out, when they're at Payne's house, he's not limping.
Yeah. So they go to his house. It's this nice little house. And I mean, this is a great scene. It is a great scene.
Yeah.
And it's a memorable scene.
You know, and they're in there.
I have some issues with...
They check the window for, booby traps and stuff like that. And they don't find any, so they're able to get in. And they're making their way through the house. You know, they're checking every room. And he gets into the living room, takes a couple steps in there, and looks over. And behind this decorative piece on the mantle, there's this motion sensor. And a light goes red on it. And there's a buzz.
On, so it's just the tone.
And
he's got that oh shit look.
I love the look on his face right here. It's perfect. It's that oh shit, I'm about to die.
I'm dead.
And there's nothing I can do about it. Look.
And it blows up.
And yeah, and
like
Jeff Daniels,
it's a bunch of them are here.
Jeff Daniels nails it. He nails that.
Like they avoid the bus disaster. An actual tragedy happened. Like a bunch of cops just blew up.
Yeah.
And I think this scene's tough, right?
It is.
Because he's lucky to survive earlier in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dies here just in the middle of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not really expecting him to really die in this movie.
No, you're not. But he does. And
the bull enough to kill him off.
And it's exactly what he was saying to Jack at the award ceremony.
This is going to happen.
You know? Luck will only get you so far. You know, they got lucky finding Howard Payne, and they got to his house and, didn't check the room quite enough. Passed by a hidden motion sensor. So it wasn't even out in the open. So there's no saying if they could have seen it from like the outskirts of the room.
Yeah.
Before going in there.
And for him, like they could have easily held him back. Like, no, they're injured. You stay back.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really needed to take him down right now.
No.
If we need you for something else, we can get you. You stay out here by the car, squad cars, right? And he would have survived. It would have been all the other ones sadly would have been perished, but he went in.
Yep.
And there's a few things I'll pick with this later, but you're not really expecting him to die in this movie, and then it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done really well. So
yes, it is.
We cut back to the bus.
And Howard calls Jack. Oh, because they're back to no, yeah. So no, Jack is still under the bus.
Thank you. That's right. Yes, sorry.
Jack is still under the bus, and they're starting to pull him back.
But there's like a piece of rubber,
a piece of the tire.
It's on the road.
Because the tire.
So now the tire has come into play.
So since the tires ran over the spikes coming into the runway area, pieces of them have been ripping off of the tires, off the wheels, as they've been driving around circling the runways. And so they pass over one of these pieces of the tires, and it hits the little cart that Jack is on, and it knocks it loose and keeps them from being able to reel it in. So, it knocks it to where now he's, dragging in front of one of the back tires of the bus.
Right. And Annie recognizes this, right? And so she wants to see if they could see him back behind the bus, right?
Yeah. So
I should mention this earlier too. Like, he uncuffs the guy.
He uncuffed Ray
when they do the leap.
Yeah, he uncuffed Ray before they jumped the gap.
Right. And so I love how Ray's like, I didn't mean to shoot the guy.
He's like, I didn't mean to shoot the guy. And so they're looking back there. Stevens like, can't see him. There. And then Ray is back there. He's not back here.
And he's like, what? Not back here.
And then
so meanwhile, he's under there.
Then where the cable is hooked to the winch breaks off the winch.
That's right, yes.
And the whole cart goes under the tire. And Jack just barely is able to grab onto the bottom of the bus. He takes his screwdriver out.
And he takes his screwdriver out into the fuel tank.
He just stabs into the fuel tank to give him something to hang on to.
I mean, he's just stabbing it. He doesn't realize it's the fuel tank right there.
He just stabs it to wherever he can. Putting it wherever he can something to grip. And so he ends up stabbing the fuel tank, and he's just hanging on to it. And, the bus runs over the cart that he was on, so he's just hanging on the side of the bus, and Annie's really freaking out now. And, they see the cart go back there, but they don't see him. And so Ortiz notices there's another access hatch in the floor. And so he works maintenance or something because he's got a tool pouch with him. He's got a tool belt that, he can't get the access hatch open without his tools. So he has somebody grab his tools, and if he gets it open, he looks down there and he sees him. He sees Jack hanging on to the bottom of the bus, drenched in gas.
Yes. They pull him up.
He pulls him up.
Or she's like, you're not very smart, man, but you got some big cojones.
It's like, he's like, you've got some big, round, hairy cojones.
He's like, you're sick, Ortiz.
It's like, that's sick, Ortiz.
And then he gives it to Annie. Annie's mad at him.
Yeah,
she's just mad at him.
Like, she starts slapping him.
What are you doing?
What do you think you're doing going under the bus like that? It's like, what's that I smell? She starts smelling her hand after hitting him.
It's like gas.
Gas. She's like, what?
You thought we need another challenge? I like how they're already bickering like husband and wife.
Yes. Yep.
They've been on this bus together probably an hour and a half.
Yep. So they're so he gets a call from Howard Payne, and he thinks it's Harry. And so he's like,
Harry, tell me good news.
He's like, Harry, tell me something good. And Howard's like, oh, I'm sorry. Harry can't come to the phone.
He didn't make it.
Harry didn't make it. And
that's like, his face drops.
Jack,
and Harry's not Harry. Howard's like, it was the watch that let him do me.
It was the watch that let him do me, wasn't it? Well, I couldn't just put a sign that said Howard Payne. That'd be too easy. Well, first he's like, well,
it's like a bomb some people, my retirement present.
Some people might think it a little tacky to use my retirement gift to, for the bomb, but I thought just putting a sign that said Howard Payne would just be a little too much.
He's like, we all know he was the brains of this operation, right? It's like, no, I am going to get my money. This is about money that is owed to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah. So you and that wildcat behind the wheel are going to do what you're told. Yeah. He repeated that wildcat behind the wheel. This is important.
Yep. This is the second time. He says it 2 times, right? You hear it kind of early on, and then you hear it now. And then he hangs up, and Jack, he just starts he's just pushing against the bars there at the front of the bus.
Yeah.
Like, and he's screaming, he's yelling, guttural noises.
And then he's just like, we're dead. We're going to die.
And like it's freaking out all the passengers. We're gonna die, and and Annie's trying to console him. It's like no, it's like we need you. I can't drive this bus without you. It's like don't lose hope on us. Don't that sort of thing. So he kind of gets down, and he goes like,
and then you see a light bulb go on Jack's head, and he's like, he can see us. He can still see us.
Strong, and he sees her sweater.
Yeah.
Well, he sees on there the Arizona.
He's like down on his knees, and he looks up.
So you go to the University of Arizona? He's like, yeah.
The Arizona Wildcats.
It's a good football team.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I guess.
It's like, I guess so. I don't really know.
Arizona.
This is how you know this is the 90s now, because
then
they had a good football team for about 2 years in the mid 90s.
Yep. And then he's like, he can see you. He called you a wildcat before. I didn't even pick up on it.
He's like, what? I didn't pick up on it. Right.
So he's trying to figure out how he can see them.
He can see me, but can he hear me?
Yeah, well, first he's looking around trying to find.
Well, she's asking. Yeah,
he's looking up and he doesn't see the helicopters up there. They can't fly into the airport.
He sees the mirror that the bus driver can look at to see the back of the bus.
And he looks behind the mirror, and there's a camera. It says video vision on the side of it. And he's like, there's a camera here. He can see
he looks at it
on the bus.
like, how did I not think of that earlier?
Yeah. And this is when Andy's like, he can see me, but can he hear me?
He would have wanted to see everything the entire time.
Yeah. And Andy's like, he can see me, but can he hear me? And
like,
Jack's like, no, it doesn't look like
so.
It looks like it's only set up for video. So he's standing there, and
it's like, just look straight ahead.
It's like, just look straight ahead. And he calls Mac, and he's like, hey, Mac, can we get a fuel truck to pace us? Because we're leaking fuel. And it shows the fuel gauge, and it shows the fuel gauge,
Mac's
and it's just that needle's dropping.
Maybe 10 minutes.
And so Mac's like, "Yep, we'll get it there." And he's like, "Fuel truck on the double." And so while they're sitting there waiting for the fuel truck, Jack gets another idea. And he's like, "All right, so are those?" He's like, "Everybody just." He calls Mac and he's like, wait, are those news vans still there? And Mac seems to know what he's
because
inferring.
Just outside the gates of the airport.
Yeah. So Jack, tells everybody, like, just look straight ahead. Don't make any big movements.
No big movements.
Just look whipped. And Ortiz is like, that'll be easy. I love Ortiz.
Yes.
Ortiz is great.
So we get shot with Mac, and he meets up with one of these guys in the van. It's like, is that you? It's like, can you? There's a signal coming from that.
You can broadcast UHF, right? So you can broadcast UHF, right? And he's like, yeah. This was like the VHF and UHF frequencies that were like talked about in the 90s. That was back when it was still an analog signal.
Yep. He wants to go watch a Weird Al Yankovic movie.
Yes, UHF, great movie. Maybe we should do that on the podcast sometime.
That might be a good one.
Anyway, he's like, he can broadcast UHF, right?
So,
and the guy's like, yeah. It's like, all right, I need you to find the signal that's coming from that bus and record off of that.
Right, so, and he finds it.
Puts the tape in.
He records it for about 1 minute.
He puts the tape in because that was back before digital recording. So he's recording it, and then, goes back to the bus, and it shows the fuel gauge, and it's almost at empty. And Jack's like, we've got to get these people off this bus now.
They're on fumes. So Mac just has him cut it. He loops it.
Yeah, and he's like, we only got a minute of tape. It's like,
and he sends it back to the source.
That'll have to work. Loop it from there. So the news guy, sets it to loop. And then they get one of the passenger carriers from the airport to pull up next to the bus.
Yep.
And they start, they put a plank down.
They get a board.
Yep. They put a plank down between the two, and they just have people start walking across.
And they're going to put the middle doors of the bus, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the front door and like the doors in the middle. And they go across.
Well, it's just the middle door because the front door is sort of inoperable because of the bomb earlier.
That's right. Sorry, Helen.
So, yeah. So they start.
They're getting first. That nice elderly couple are some of the first off.
Yep. They go over, and I love how the woman, the elderly woman, she has her purse with her. She's walking across there.
It's a big purse.
She keeps
she's got
purse
all
on her
these
shoulder
toys for her grandchildren in that purse.
Yep. She seems like such a nice grandma.
I know. Oh, I bet she's got some delicious ass cookies.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
So,
and I'm sure her husband.
Everyone starts going over. The lady that was in the back, that was just hanging out in the back the entire movie. Is like, all right, I'm going to cross this bus. I'm going to hang in the back of this other bus.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm just a back rider. Back of the bus rider.
Everyone starts getting across, and then you get to Stevens. Stevens, ever since like,
Stevens is the last one. So
he's been kind of catatonic.
Yeah,
like,
he's been kind of catatonic.
He kind of helped. He saw that like he was going to come under the bus, but like he hasn't said much, and
he was helping.
Affected by this a lot.
He was helping try to find Jack when he was under the bus, and here's what I don't get. So when Jack left the bus, Stevens was, because that he went through the middle door to get onto the SUV that Mac was in. Yes. And Stevens goes out and he leans out of that door.
That's right, he does.
To watch Jack drive off. So what stopped Howard from blowing up the bus? Because it looked like Stevens might have been trying to get off the bus.
I guess he waited long enough to see what was going to happen.
Maybe.
Because I guess he figured if Stevens just tried to get up by himself, he'd be dead anyway.
Yeah. But, I mean, because he really leaned out there.
Oh, he leaned out, yes. Leaned more than Helen.
Yeah. So, anyway. So, Stevens is the last one. So, there's Stevens, and then there's Jack and Annie. Annie's still driving.
Yep. Yeah, Stevens is the last one. That's right. And I look at like Ortiz gives a nice little pat on the shoulder.
Ortiz is the second to last one. So Ortiz,
to Jack,
he's a good guy. He's been staying there, making sure everybody's getting off the bus. Right? Ortiz is just being awesome, making sure everybody's getting off the bus. And then
Stevens, he's ready to go, but he's kind of wary about going across, and like you can tell like he's kind of scared because again, it's a narrow little plank. They're going 55 60 miles an hour,
and so once again Ortiz now in the other bus,
he's ready to help him across.
Calling across, he's like, come on buddy, I got you.
But then the bus hits one of the pieces of tire that is blowing off within all this as he's walking across.
So it knocks the plank loose. And, Ortiz has him by the hand. So Ortiz is holding on to Stevens. And meanwhile, Stevens is like laying down on the plank that's almost getting, ripped off of the side of this bus.
Right.
And, his feet are flailing and all this. And so Ortiz and the other passengers and the cops that are there are able to pull him up into the bus. And so now all the passengers are safe. Except for Annie.
So meanwhile,
Jack and Annie are still on the original bus.
The two of them, they gave him a pole that they could wedge between the seat and the gas pedal.
Mm-hmm. And they gave him a rope that he could rig the steering wheel so it could still drive in a straight line.
Yep. And they're going to attach that to the access panel.
Mm-hmm. Right? So, yeah. So
they're going to open the access panel and wedge it down, on that. And then they're going to basically lie on it.
Yep.
Right? And allow the wheel to unravel it. And then they will go under.
Yeah.
Right? So they do that. And she has to get her feet out from under because they would be stuck otherwise. Because, again, that pole is wedged.
Yep.
Right?
So
she gets out. They get ready.
He tells her to lay down on the access panel, and she does. And then he lays down right next to her, sort of huddles over her. And then the rope comes loose from the steering wheel, and it releases the access panel, and they go sliding across the ground.
Growing wheels.
Yes. I don't know how. But you can clearly see wheels under it.
Because as it releases from the bus and it goes under the bus and the music swells nicely.
Yep.
And they're huddled together, they're tight.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a shot, this like landscape view shot of them.
Yeah, and they go.
And there's obviously wheels under this access panel.
Obviously wheels under the access panel. And they go rolling through a bunch of like traffic cones and stuff like that.
Yeah, they kind of go into this grassy area, traffic cones or whatever. And the bus, thankfully, it actually goes through a hangar without hitting
through a hangar because now that the tire is completely ripped off now, pretty much.
Yeah,
and so it won't go straight. So it's curving now that the rope is not on the steering wheel anymore. It's starting to curve. It ends up driving right through a hangar and back out onto the runway. And there is a cargo plane that's being taxied.
The cargo plane.
And
it's being taxied. So there's no drivers in the plane. There's two drivers in the tug that are taxiing this plane.
So, and it's not just any cargo plane. It is a Pacific Courier plane. It's a Pacific Courier plane.
Yes.
Which is the same fictional shipping company that the terrorists used a truck for in Die Hard.
It is.
So does that mean that Speed and Die Hard are in the same universe?
Yeah, I mean, Jan de Bont was the director of cinematography for that, so yes.
Yes, he was. John McTiernan directed it, but yeah, Jan de Bont was in charge of cinematography.
So because he's also so we don't see that in Twister, but does that mean that Twister's also in the same universe? And theoretically, we were robbed of John McClane fighting a fucking tornado?
Yes, but maybe after Steven's experience here, we don't know where he's from. He could be from Oklahoma.
Yes.
Maybe he goes back there, adopts the nickname Rabbit. And now that he's been through this debacle with a bus, he's obsessed with maps and knowing where he is at all times.
He had plenty of maps.
Yeah. Maybe they're all the same universe. It does. It all makes sense.
So much sense.
Rabbit is good. Rabbit is wise. Yeah.
Man.
Makes so much sense.
Which means we could have seen Philip Seymour Hoffman in Die Hard.
That would have been awesome. I wish we could have seen Philip Seymour Hoffman in Die Hard.
Anyway, so it's taxing, and now the bus, it has slowed its momentum down enough.
Because it's run out of gas.
And we get the shot of that speedometer that's under the bus, right? It's a digital readout, right?
So it's going up and it goes down 53, 52, 51, 50, and then the bomb goes from green to red.
Yes.
And as soon as it hits the plane, the bomb explodes. And the plane goes up in flames. The bus goes up in flames.
Mm-hmm. And I love how you get a shot of everybody on the bus. Right?
Yeah. On the other bus, on the rescue bus. And they all see it, and they're shocked. Even though that's, everything that they've been expecting the entire movie to happen, and they're still shocked. But, so, bus blows up, plane blows up.
Killed.
And then you see the tug that was pulling the plane. And you see the driver get out of it and run away.
Yeah. Thankfully he does not die.
Yeah.
He was in the middle of the plane.
He was far enough ahead of the plane to where the explosion didn't get to him. So, he gets out and runs away.
Jack and Annie, they're there together now. She starts crying a bit because obviously it's been a traumatic experience.
Yeah, and he's trying to comfort her.
He's kind of happy and laughing.
Yeah, he's kind of happy and laughing.
Even though,
kind of trying to comfort her, and she's like, "You're not going to get all mushy on me, are you?" And he's like, "I might." And she's like, "Well, the only because I've heard that relationships that start under extreme circumstances never work out." And he's like, "Okay." And by this time, all the cops are around him, and they get him up, and he's still laughing about it. Like, even though 10 minutes earlier, he's distraught because his partner died. Yeah.
And not just him, a bunch of his other
a bunch of his fellow officers.
Cops. Yeah.
A bunch of
his brother and sister cops have died. Mm-hmm. So I get that he's relieved.
They didn't just die.
At the same time,
they were murdered by a mad bomber.
This is really hitting him hard.
They were murdered at the whim of a madman.
He escaped this. All these other innocent people escaped this. But his partner did not.
Yeah.
Even though wasn't even on the bus.
Yeah.
There's this other bomb. Because, again, as I said earlier, it was a whim of a madman.
Yeah.
And just said earlier and by one of the newscasters.
Yeah. So
Max shows up.
Max shows up, and Jack's like, "Annie, I'd like you to meet someone. This is Lieutenant McMahon."
He's to meet someone. It's like he's gonna introduce her to his family. No, just his boss.
I'd like you to meet Lieutenant McMahon. And so then Howard calls Mac. And he's asking where his money is, how long it's going to be before he gets his money. Because it's almost 11 o'clock.
Yep.
And
they're treating some of Jack's wounds,
to say,
right?
Yeah,
he's got all this
rash from Jack and Annie. They're treating their wounds.
Across the runway.
And Mac is about to tell him where he could put his money. And Jack stops him. He's like, he doesn't know it blew up.
Jack's like, he doesn't know the bus blew up.
And so Mac's like, 30 minutes.
Right. So what we
what we didn't mention earlier, so Howard's apartment that he's in is overlooking an intersection.
Kind of looks like it's near downtown, Los Angeles.
Yeah, and there's this trash can in that intersection.
Green trash can.
And so that's where he said that he wants them to put the money. He wants it in
he's been looking at this.
He wants it in 2 clear plastic bags, unmarked bills, non-sequential, big, big bills.
Yeah, 50s and 100s.
and he wants them to put it in this trash can that he can see from his window.
Right. Well, the other thing about his apartment we did not mention was before they got off the bus, right?
Yes.
They're looping the video.
When they're looping the video, he's going to the bathroom.
So we see the video glitch and pause.
Yeah, we see it
right?
glitch. Yeah, and he is coming out of the stall. He has a bathroom stall in his apartment. It's like a studio apartment, but he has an actual stall.
It's a pretty large studio
for a bathroom. There's not an actual bathroom in there, which a lot of studio apartments actually still have a bathroom.
Yes.
But no, he just has like a stall that you would find in a department store or something.
Maybe that's what he just decided. I'm going to convert this old little store into.
Maybe, because there are some mannequins in there.
Yes.
He's got a mannequin that's got a police uniform on it. And then
again, like,
there's a couple other mannequins there too. So maybe it is. Yeah.
You can't totally tell what this
room in a store
building used to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Mac tells him 30 minutes. Right. We cut back to downtown and we see them arrive, and Jack gets out of this ambulance with Annie, and he tells Annie to stay put. And they're setting up the headquarters like in this barber shop.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we cut back up to the apartment, right, with Howard, and he's looking back at the trash can. And he's looking around, and he sees all these SWAT team, these snipers and sharpshooters, and they're ready, right?
He's like,
for him to.
He's like, why are they
converge on this trash can?
Okay, and then
he chuckles at it,
and he's still got the news on, and the news mentions the bus exploded. And so he looks at his.
Mention that?
There's something that tipped him off to look at the monitor that he's looking at, that he was watching.
He looks at the video again, and he sees that the video pauses and then starts up again.
Yeah, he sees, what he sees is he's watching the video. Like so he gets back I guess the news didn't say anything, but he gets back from seeing all the snipers and all the cops set up out there. Because he knows his plan, right? He knows he doesn't have to worry about them, but he goes back and he's looking at the feed from the bus, and he sees the lady who's sitting behind Annie with a purse. And I guess during the time of the recording, she had either picked her purse up off the floor or put it down on the floor, because the purse keeps disappearing and reappearing in her hands. Yes. And that's what tips him off. So
and he looks at it, he's like, no, right? And so, but he still has a plan. So he has his blues still apparently in this apartment, not at the place he just blew up.
Yeah, so he's got, because he was Atlanta PD. He's got an LAPD uniform in this place where he is now. So, we get, it goes back out to Jack, goes off with Mac, and then Annie is sort of just standing outside the ambulance.
Sitting in the back of the ambulance.
He's standing outside the ambulance, just
she gets impatient,
just waiting,
and she steps out onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, and then we see Howard Payne walk up dressed like an LAPD officer, and he walks right up to her, and he's like, "Ma'am, I'm gonna have to direct you."
You can't stand this close. Like, it's like, oh no, Jack Travern said, like,
oh yeah,
Jack told me he needs you
over here
somewhere else.
Yeah, and so he escorts her away.
We cut back to the barbershop where they have a tracker on the money.
And they had a couple of cops disguised as garbage men. And they pulled the garbage truck up next to the trash can, and they had the bags of money in there hidden under a trash bag. And they go over and they open up the trash can, drop the money down in there, and pull the trash bag that they were holding over the money out, looking like they were pulling the trash bag out of the trash can. And go back over to the truck, throw it in the back, and drive off. And they're watching it from the barbershop, and they don't see him come up and get the money.
And they're just wondering, like, why hasn't he showed up yet?
And they have a tracker on it, but it's not turned on the money.
Yep. And they're like, yeah, so, where is he? Like, he should be here.
So Jack tells Norwood.
And Jack's like, turn the
tracker on. And Norwood's like, why?
And he was like, we got so many eyes on that. He hasn't picked it up. And Jack's like, turn on the tracker.
So they turn it on, and sure enough, it's moving. So Jack runs out to the trash can, rips it out of the ground, and there's a hole. There's a hole in the sidewalk underneath it. So Jack jumps down in the hole, and he looks down. There's stairs, I love
how there's just stairs that just end nowhere under this trash can.
Yeah. Did
Andy Dufresne build this for...
Maybe he did.
It's not just, but this is not just a tunnel. This is an entire hallway.
Maybe this is what it looked like before he put the pneumatic tubes in.
All right.
You know, maybe Andy Dufresne wasn't quite finished with this project yet. He was too busy working on the Gotham City tube system.
Yeah, that's true. Neglected Los Angeles.
Couldn't finish the LA one.
So he gets his gun out. He's going down
because he sees
his figure just up ahead of him.
Yeah, he sees these feet running ahead at the bottom of the stairs. So he pulls his gun out, runs down the stairs, and he sees this shadowy figure around the corner. You know, he points his gun and he's like, freeze!
And he tells it to freeze!
Turn around slowly. He's like, pop quiz, asshole. Right. You got a hair trigger aimed at your head. What do you do? What do you do? Turn around.
And he shoots, turn around.
And then slowly you see this figure turn around. And
that's definitely not a Dennis Hopper haircut.
Definitely not a definite Dennis Hopper haircut. It looks very similar to the haircut that Annie's had the whole movie. And sure enough, as she turns around, it's Annie with a bomb vest on. And she's almost in tears. And it's made to kind of... It's made to... I'm trying to figure out what they were going for here. Were they going for... You know, automatically she's the victim of this whole thing and she's, you know, just been kidnapped and had a bomb strapped to her? Or are they trying to convince you that she was in on it the whole time? Because it kind of gives that impression.
Well, granted, you can imagine you might have someone on that bus.
Yeah. It kind of gives that impression that maybe she was in on it the whole time, that she was his accomplice, because movies like to do that. They like to pull the rug out from under you and have this person that has been getting close to the hero, you know, actually be a villain. But luckily, that's not the case, because shortly after, you know, she apologizes to Jack, Howard comes walking around the corner and confirms that nope, she's not working with him. That
he's more than willing to let her blow up.
He kidnapped her and strapped a bomb to her chest. So, yeah. So thankfully, she's not a bad guy.
And he looks at her. It's like, you know, what are you going to do, Jack? I don't think you can shoot her. Right? And Jack's like, you're crazy. You're fucking crazy. It's like, no. Poor people are crazy.
I'm eccentric.
I'm eccentric.
I love that. Poor people are crazy. I'm eccentric. Nobody ever uses that reasoning anymore.
Goodbye, Jack.
Like that used to be a reasoning that came around a lot. You know, poor people are crazy. Rich people are eccentric.
Absolutely correct. That's a great point.
Get that anymore.
You don't. You do not get that anymore. I'm eccentric.
So they get onto a subway and they leave Jack behind. And so Jack's trying to run up to it to chase him, and it's already started moving. And so he's running alongside the subway. He gets up to one of the doors.
He's had to, like, they close the door on him because there's a door that leads from this access hallway to the platform.
Yeah.
They close it. It's locked. Like, he has to shoot it open.
Yeah, that's right. He's got to shoot the lock in order to open it up.
There's
people walking by.
Scattering on the platform.
And, you know, all they know, they're walking by this door, and all of a sudden there's bullets flying through it.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
Yeah. So, you know, he shoots out the lock on the door and gets out there, and by that time, Howard and Annie are on the subway.
And it's leaving the station.
Yeah, and so he gets up there and he's running after it, gets to one of the doors and he sort of, hops onto the side of the subway while he's trying to open up these doors, and he notices they're coming up on the tunnel where it's going to shut, like the gap is going to get real small. And he manages to get the door open just in time.
And he falls in.
Right now, before getting splatted on the wall.
I guess he's a car behind them, or maybe a couple of cars behind them.
Yeah.
Right? They're kind of in the front car.
Yeah, they're in the front car.
And there are this couple there, right? And he looks at them like, are these seats taken? And he points his gun at them. Like, no.
They get up
and they
and
get
run
off before the train leaves the station.
Yeah, because he's got an MP5K with him. He's got an automatic submachine gun. And so they run off the bus or off the subway.
He handcuffs Annie to one of the poles that you would hold on to on a subway train, right?
It's just the two of them on the train.
Yep, it's just two of them. Jack is in some other car. He's moving forward, and he got the train driver that's just ahead of them.
That's in the front of the car.
The train driver starts getting a call from his dispatch or boss, like, hey, stop at the next station, or giving these instructions, right? Because the cops have relayed information about what's happening. And he slowly decides to try to answer this call.
And so, but Howard
sees this.
He has a different idea. He has other plans. He's like, I'll take from here. And he just shoots the driver.
Yeah, multiple times. Yeah. Just turns him into Swiss cheese, essentially.
He just basically scatters bullets all over that cockpit area.
So this driver is played by Richard Schiff, who is Eddie in The Lost World, but most people would probably know more from The West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also in Seven.
Yes, he was.
He was also in Man of Steel.
Unfortunately.
So Annie, when she sees him get shot and killed, she starts getting hysterical and crying, and Howard sees this. He's like, oh, no, don't want you to drop that yet. He's like, I love this part. He looks like, it's not because you're a woman.
It's not because you're a woman. Because he had handed her the stick while he shot the driver.
And then he just is like, you see this here? When we drop this, they'll think you, but I'll be there.
Yeah. It's like,
they'll be counting all of you.
They don't even bother counting body parts. So
that's right. That's what it is.
So when this thing explodes, that's where you'll be, but that's not where I'll be. I'll be somewhere else.
Dennis Hopper's so good.
He is. Oh. Dennis Hopper. It was so great.
So what point does Jack get on the roof of the train?
So Jack, he's trying to, at this point, he's on the roof of the train. He's climbing across the roof of the train because, he was in a further back car and he doesn't just want to bust through and get to them while they're from inside the train. So he's climbing on top of it. And
he gets to that front car.
Yeah, he gets to the front car, and then one of the lights at the top of the tunnel, starts coming up, and he has to roll over to avoid it.
To avoid being hit by it.
And while he's doing that, he kind of thumps on the roof of the train. And that's when Howard hears this,
obviously.
And
is that you up there, Jack?
Yeah, so he's like, you up there, Jack? And he starts shooting up through the ceiling.
And he
Jack's
mocks a little bit, and then he's like,
trying to avoid it.
But I got my money, right? And he opens up the bag.
And there's a paint packet in it. A paint bomb.
So, all right. I have a problem with this.
Okay.
So, Howard's a cop. Did he really think they would not put a paint packet in that?
That's a good point. It's an excellent point. I mean, he told them not to. He told them, I want it clean. But, yeah. I mean,
he told them, but like, in the end,
for several years. He was a cop for several years. He should know how they operate. So, yeah, that is an excellent point. I don't know why I never thought of that. But, yeah, did he really expect them to not put a paint bomb in there? An ink
he gets angry. And I understand why he's angry.
Mm-hmm. Because now the money's unusable.
It seems like he should have had an expectation that was a very distinct possibility.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gets angry now. He starts shooting up in the roof again.
Mm-hmm. And then he decides he's going to go up there and take Jack out himself.
So he gives Annie the detonator.
No, he still has the detonator.
The kill switch.
No, he still has the kill switch on him. He just keeps it in his hand.
No, he still has it. That's right. He doesn't give it back. He still has it. He keeps it in his hand and he climbs back up. He goes up there and he's climbing after he sees Jack up there on the roof of the train and he's climbing up there and he sort of tackles him and they're rolling around fighting and he's still holding the stick and he's like punching him with it, and he finally gets that like upper hand where he gets on top of Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And he punches him.
He knocks Jack. Well, when Jack had to roll over, he dropped his gun.
That's right.
So his gun fell next to the train.
It's off.
And so he doesn't have his gun, and so so Howard comes up and they're fighting, rolling around fighting, and Howard gets on top of Jack, and he's sort of trying to strangle him. And he
starts mocking him.
He starts mocking him. He's like,
about being smarter.
Yeah, he's like, I'm smarter. He's like, you're not going to beat me. You know why? Because I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you, Jack. And then Jack looks up and he sees another one of those lights coming up that almost took him out earlier. And so he reaches up and he grabs Howard under the chin and he starts trying to push his head up.
Pushes him up a little bit.
He's like just trying to push him. Howard thinks he's just trying to push him off of himself. But, he's just pushing his head up. And then that light comes and takes Howard Payne's head right off.
Clean off.
Right after he says, you know why you're not going to beat me? Because I'm smarter than you, Jack. And takes his head off. And then Jack is able to grab the detonator just before Howard falls back, off the train. So, he's able to keep the trigger pulled and hold on to it. But then he's like, yeah, but I'm taller. Jack is a whole head and shoulders taller than Howard.
When I saw this in Father's Day in 1994, I had no idea why that joke was funny. I do now.
Well, I mean, you were 10 years old. You weren't even 11 yet. You wouldn't be 11 for a few more months. So, yeah, so Jack is able to make it back down into the train car. And he gets up to Annie. And so here's what confuses me. All right, so he walks up to Annie. Okay. He's holding the detonator, and there's a green light on it.
Yes.
Right? And he walks up, and on the back of the vest that she's wearing, there's a bunch of wires, and he just grabs them and pulls them out of the top of the vest, right? And then the light goes off, meaning that the trigger's not going to detonate the bomb anymore. Couldn't he have just pulled those wires out before they got on the train?
Yes.
When they first met up in the tunnel, like at the station?
He could have.
Or, I mean, I didn't see him do anything like flip any switches or anything like that on the trigger itself. Because he's just holding the stick and then he just pulled the wires out of the back of the vest.
He did.
So they could have saved themselves a lot of trouble.
They could have.
If he had just pulled those wires out before.
Yes.
So, okay.
But they do it now.
Yeah. So, they do it now. It deactivates the trigger, so it won't set off the bomb. So they're able to get the vest off of her. And he sort of just tosses it onto a seat next to her. And then
she's ready to get off the train now.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, just uncuff me, we'll get off.
Yep, uncuff me, we can get off. And then he's like, I don't have the key.
It was on Howard. His body's about a mile back that way.
Yeah. I mean, earlier, when they were on the bus, he had handcuffs that he used to cuff Ray to the seat.
Yeah, that's true.
You would think that if he's carrying handcuffs, he would also have a handcuff key. Because handcuff keys are pretty much universal.
Universal, right.
I mean, there are some, types of handcuffs that you can't just use a generic key on. But handcuff keys are more often than not universal.
Yes.
So you would think that he would have a key somewhere on him for the cuffs that he carried.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, again, he went through a lot on that bus and under the bus and, all that. So there's a chance, maybe it fell out of his pocket or wherever he kept it.
Yeah, true. Definitely.
But also, every cop that I know, every cop that I used to work with, myself included, we all had multiple keys. Just in case we lost one.
Yeah.
So he should have a key on him. But, so let's say, he doesn't have a key on him. Like he said, Another thing about handcuffs is they are fairly easy to pick the lock on. You just, if you know what you're doing, they're fairly easy to pick. So, they could have found something on that bus that they could use to pick the lock. They could have used one of the wires from the bomb.
Yes. That they could have. But they don't.
They don't. So he decides that, he can't, he went up and he looked at the controls and they're all shot up and, so he can't stop the train.
He gets a call. Here's Mac on it that the track's about to end.
Mm-hmm. And he looks at the map and sure enough, up ahead, there's a right turn and then it's just construction and it's the end of the track. And so he decides that he's going to speed the train up and he's going to make it jump the track.
He's going to speed it up again.
And so he goes up there.
Annie at first is like, how about you just leave?
Annie's like, just leave.
What happens. Like, no, I can't leave you.
Yeah, he won't leave her. So, he goes up and he moves, he increases the speed, he, pushes the throttle forward and and then he goes back and by this time Annie has sat down on the floor. She's just sort of accepted her fate.
She's kind of, yes. And
so he goes back there and he sits down and, they, embrace and they're, he's sitting there trying to protect her.
Yep. And
they're trying to huddle.
They're getting towards the end of the track. They're actually going through a construction site here under the ground. And
Yeah,
right?
so
it's
the
like
construction workers are
a couple
down
weeks
there.
ago when
They
Terminator
hear
2,
the train coming.
when they crash into the factory and all the workers scatter. It's like that.
Yeah,
They're all
like that.
scattering on
They're all
this construction
scattering.
site.
And then it cuts to, it shows the track, and where it's turning, the track's not even connected.
No.
So they, in order to derail the train, they didn't need to speed it up at all. But, and granted, they didn't know that. So they didn't know what the track was going to look like ahead. So, sure. Speed it up so that we can derail the train. But, so it goes up to that turn, and it, jumps the track, and there's this, I guess it's a subway access from the street.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
Sort of blocked off because that section is under construction, so they don't want people going down there.
Yeah, that's the best I can make of this.
Anyway, the train flies up and it busts through the wall that has been built around this subway access hatch area. And up onto the street. And
this is the middle of, this is like the Hollywood station. It's the middle of Hollywood.
Yeah, it's the middle of Hollywood. And so it lands on the street and then tips over onto its side and keeps sliding forward. And there's this 15-passenger van, a tour van, that's driving by. And it stops. It could have kept going. It could have kept going and been clear of everything if it had just kept going straight. But no, it stops right in front of this train. And the train ever so gently taps the side of this van.
Taps it.
As it's coming to a stop. It taps the side of this van.
Yep.
Probably doesn't even do any real damage to the van.
No real damage.
But the driver gets out. He's like, I can't believe he just hit me. It's a subway train that is now on the street. I can't believe it just hit me. You stopped your van right in front of a subway train that has broken through the ground and is now on the street.
Oh my.
It's your own fault for him hitting you.
You had careful of these things.
You had plenty of time to keep driving straight.
Plenty of time.
But anyway, so then the camera pans into the train car, and the pole that she was handcuffed to is now broken.
Broke off from the floor or the ceiling.
They're able to get, her arms out from around it. And Jack and Annie,
and now that's in a similar position like they were when they got off the bus.
Exactly. And
the supine.
Yes, they're supine, and and Annie starts talking about them being together, and Jack is like, "But wait, I thought that relationships based on extreme circumstances never work." And Annie's like,
Annie's like, "Well,
then I guess we'll just have to base it on sex then." And Jack's like, "Yes, ma'am." And then they start making out while everybody's looking. Like everybody's crowded around this train.
Everyone's looking,
and they're all just
like they must have hit some pipe too, because there's some water going off.
Yes, I'm sure they hit a fire hydrant or something like that somewhere. But yeah, there's water spraying everywhere.
Crowding around this.
There's people crowding around. They're looking, and they're just taking pictures of it. Yeah, they're taking pictures of these two people that the camera pans away from them and shows the crowd, So we don't know what all they're doing there.
Well, this is the point I want to get.
They could just be kissing. Okay. They could be doing more. Maybe they're trying to reach emotional catharsis.
They're just going to have public sex.
Exactly. Are they trying to reach emotional catharsis in the middle of this train, in the middle of the street, in the middle of Hollywood, with everybody looking?
We're going to watch it. Jackie Cheehorn's over there. He's filming.
Yep. There's Too Excited Trampoline Guy.
I did not expect Big Lebowski to get snuck in there at the end.
I didn't either, but Big Lebowski has a tendency to sneak into these things.
That's what I want to. This is what I need to know. I've been wondering this for a little bit now. Like, are they having sex at the end of this movie?
I've always wondered that too. I mean, they're at least making out pretty heavy.
I mean, people seem like, oh, this is getting heavy.
Mm-hmm. And then you see some flashes go off from cameras. Like, why would random people be taking pictures of these two people making out?
Fucking Harry being blown up.
Yeah.
But no, he's going to blow up. Anyway.
But no, why would random people
just making out? People
be taking pictures of these two people making out in a train car in the middle of the highway, in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard, if they weren't doing more than just kissing?
This train car just shot out of the ground in the middle of Hollywood.
Yeah.
That enough is weird. And then they look inside and these two people are doing what?
These two people are making out, getting busy,
banging.
I mean, they did just decide that they were going to base their relationship on sex. This is the
final scene of the movie because the credits start rolling as people are taking pictures of whatever they're doing.
Yes, very similar to Die Hard. Where not so much that, what they're doing, but the credits rolling as, the crowd is forming around, the rescue vehicles and everything are showing up as the camera's panning out.
Yes. Well, at least with Die Hard, though, so now they're in the back of the vehicle, and they got all that, and Argyle is going to be a gentleman enough to close that window between the two of them, and let them do whatever they want.
Yeah. But no, there's no window for Argyle to close in this movie, because I mean the train is ripped open, and yeah. But anyway, so the camera pans out, credits start rolling, and once the score is done playing during the credits, then we get the wonderful, amazing song that I think this movie is the only time I've ever actually heard this song. Speed.
Yes.
The song Speed by Billy Idol.
Yes. This movie is a Billy Idol song. Billy Idol sang the song for this, the theme song for this movie.
He sang the theme song for this movie. It's called Speed. And I have never heard this song in any other place than this movie.
Yes. I mean, this is back in the 90s. Again, this is the 90s when you easily had major stars singing theme songs to movies.
Yes.
Or having a song on the soundtrack.
Yes. It's a very enjoyable song.
Yes, I agree.
But
this barely cracked the top 40 on the U.S. album rock tracks. So, strangely enough, its strongest charting was in Finland.
Huh. Interesting.
But yes, Billy Idol has the theme songs of this movie.
Yeah.
And I forgot about it because I was watching it and I hear Billy Idol kind of like, Billy Idol sang the theme song of this movie?
I guess so.
So.
Yep. Yeah, because I had completely forgotten about it till I watched it for the podcast. I'm like, wait, Billy Idol.
the scene happened. I think we normally would just turn it off at that point. But time the credits are rolling. We didn't need to stay and listen to all the songs.
Yeah,
apparently Billy Idol was in this one. So hey,
because I mean the score keeps playing until it fades to black, and then that's when Billy Idol starts singing. So yeah, I think most of the times when I watched the movie, I just stopped it there. Stopped it like before it faded to black. Or didn't really pay attention to the song that was playing during the credits.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But yeah, so that's Speed.
That is Speed.
The movie and the song. We've finally covered it. After
yes, and it was
after a long time of mentioning.
I really enjoyed talking about this.
I did too, and I'm sure there are things we didn't talk about.
Yes, there's a lot of things in the movie. I think we covered most of the things that needed to happen.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
Yes, no, it's one of the best action movies in the 90s.
Yes,
watch it.
Yes, it is absolutely. It is. It's classic Keanu, and I mean Jeff Daniels is fantastic.
He is,
and Dennis Hopper is the perfect villain for this movie. He chews the scenery in the best way.
Yes, he does.
And yeah, so if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you have seen it, watch it again. I'm going to watch it again. I love this movie. I watch it several times.
I love this movie too.
Whenever I can.
I will watch it again also.
I lost count of the number of times that I've seen this movie.
Yeah, me same.
And yeah, it's fantastic. And it makes you kind of not want to get on a bus. But at the same time, it makes you kind of want to get on a bus because you kind of want an exciting experience.
I got on a bus like that. Hopefully Ortiz is on it.
Yep.
Or someone like Ortiz.
Yep. Ortiz is awesome. Ortiz needs more recognition for everything that he did for this movie.
I agree.
Because he was the person on that bus that helped Jack the most. Like even more than Annie. All Annie was doing was driving. Ortiz was actually helping. She drove,
which is fine. That was an important job.
Yeah, that was a very important job. But Ortiz was actually like there to like physically help him.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
But yeah.
Good heart, too.
Yep. Ortiz is a good guy. But anyway, is there anything else that you want to mention?
I think that does it.
I think so too. So if you enjoy what you're hearing, then go ahead and check us out on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. We are at Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out. It's not an ampersand like it is in the name of the podcast. Then we are also on X or Twitter. That is R&T Cinematic. And you can check us out on Letterboxd. You can go and see some of our reviews on different movies. Some we've done on the podcast, and we haven't done. Some we will do, some we won't do. But that is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure. CINE Adventure. And if you want to send us an email, let us know what you thought of Speed. Do you love it as much as we do? Do you hate it? Are you just sick of Keanu? I don't know why anybody would be sick of Keanu. Keanu
why would
awesome.
Anyone be sick?
But if you are, let us know. Let us know what you thought of this movie. Should we do more 90s action, which I can already guarantee we're going to be doing more 90s action on this podcast.
Yes, we will.
Anyway, what do you think? Let us know. Send us an email at robandtonyscinematicadventure@gmail.com. Once again, the and is spelled out, A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like it is in the name of the podcast. Yeah, we want to hear from you. And if you enjoy what you hear and you want to hear more of it, then go to your favorite podcasting app. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a good rating, a good review. That's how we're going to move up in the standings, in the recommendations, in the search, all that stuff. Go to our social media. Give us a like and a follow. Stick with us. Because we want to keep bringing you these discussions on these movies that we love so much.
Yes, we do.
And we hope that you enjoy listening to them and hearing what we have to say. And so the summer is coming to an end. We have been doing this summer blockbuster series. And I love when we do this summer blockbuster series because there's so many great movies.
It's been so much
great
fun.
Movies that we cover. But we have one more summer blockbuster that we're going to be talking about before the end of this season.
I'm excited for this one because it's been a long time since I've seen it. And it was an unexpected blockbuster for me when it came out.
Yeah. So last year, we finished off the summer blockbuster series with Jurassic Park. This year, we were trying to figure out what's another movie that's, similar in hype, similar in scale, similar in, in just blockbusteriness that would be a good end to this series.
We've done a lot of the other Spielberg movies that would fall in that category already. Yeah. So those were out.
Yeah, those were out. And we narrowed it down to the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. We thought that would be the perfect movie to end this particular summer blockbuster series with.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do. Next week, we will be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. I watched this movie a few months ago.
Okay.
And I'm very happy with our choice in the movie. So I'm going to watch it again before we discuss it, just so it's a little bit fresher in my mind.
It's been a while for me.
Because it's probably been about 3 or 4 months since I watched it. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm going to watch it again before we talk about it. But yeah. So next time we are going to be closing out the summer blockbuster series for this year with Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Yeah, so you got time to watch it, and we will see you next time with Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.